LEGO games have been a staple in most people's childhood, spanning all the way from the late 90s to present day 2026. LEGO has collabed with many major IPs such as DC Comics, Marvel Comics, Harry Potter, and more. But no IP has been bigger for LEGO than Star Wars, dating back to their first licensed game with the IP back in 2005 with the release of LEGO Star Wars the video game. In this video, I'm going to be getting the lustrous platinum trophy on every LEGO Star Wars game ever released, from the very first LEGO Star Wars game to present day with LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. LEGO Star Wars the video game, the first ever LEGO game released in the classic formula we all know and love today for 6th generation consoles. The only issue is it is not present on PS Plus's Classics catalog, and is also not available to play on Xbox Series X backwards compatibility. So you're probably wondering, how am I going to get any trophies or a platinum for this game? Well, the truth is, I'm not going to be, because there isn't any way to get a platinum or Xbox achievements. But there is still one way I can earn achievements for this game. That way is through Retro Achievements, a website that was created that allows you to earn achievements on lots of your childhood favorite games by playing through an emulator. If you would like to try this out for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description of this video, as well as here is my account if you would like to follow me on there. For LEGO Star Wars 1, I will be doing the PS2 stack, which features 30 achievements. Of course, the first step on mastering this game was to complete the main story. LEGO Star Wars the video game follows the story of the 3 prequel movies released in the early 2000s, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. The main goal of the game is to achieve 100% completion for the achievements The Saga Begins, The War Is Not Over, and The Saga Ends. Once you click New Game and are loaded in, you are brought to the hub world of the game, Dexter's Diner. And here is where you can enter each level of the game, purchase characters or extras, and enter cheat codes. You can also explore outside of the diner and look at the figures that were built from collecting the main collectible of each LEGO game, which are mini kits. I'll get more into those later. There's no choice as to what movie I would like to play through first, as the levels from episodes 2 and 3 are locked for now, basically forcing me to enter into chapter 1 of episode 1. The story of the game obviously follows that of the story from the 3 films, but told in the comedic and family-friendly nature of the LEGO brand. Your choice of characters are also limited, as you are forced to play as 2 characters and sometimes more that were chosen from that section of the movie told in the level. In level 1, we start off as Qui-Gon Jinn and Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now obviously these 2 characters are Jedis, which means that they have Jedi abilities such as using the Force, double jumping, and their weapon of choice is the lightsaber. Every character has a unique ability to them that you can use to help progress through the story missions. A little ways into the mission, we come across a droid standing in the hallway, and as I walk up and interact with them, I can now switch on to using that character. This character is TC-14, and he is a protocol droid. With his ability, you can access these panels, such as this one right here, to open doors and activate other things spread throughout the game. But the issue with him is he cannot jump, and he walks pretty slowly. As you go throughout the level, there are certain LEGO structures you can either break or interact with, and once you do, a currency called studs spill out. Once you collect these studs, a bar is then shown at the top of the screen, which shows the progress of the amount of studs you have collected throughout the mission. There is a certain goal set in each level that I need to reach in order to completely fill this meter, and to get an achievement, I need to fill each meter in all 18 levels in the game. That's not the only use for these studs though, as outside of the levels, you can use these to purchase characters, vehicles, extras, and other things. The first level was nothing crazy. I filled up the stud bar, dominated an army of droids, and completed the first level of the game. At the end of the level, I am awarded my first achievement. I am brought to a progress screen where you can see the characters I played as were now added to my character roster, the studs I collected were added to my total stud count, and I have now unlocked something called free play. Free play gives you the option to go back and play any level in the game, this time with your choice of characters to play as that you have unlocked. Throughout each story level in the game, there are 10 collectibles spread throughout called mini kits. Some mini kits are right there in plain sight and can be collected while playing through the story, such as these 2 I got for simply pulling these blue levers, as well as these purple levers. But other mini kits are blocked from accessing them by abilities you need from characters outside of the characters you play as in the main story, such as this mini kit right here, where in order to access it, you need to activate an astromech panel. In order to get an achievement, I need to collect all 180 mini kits in the game. Now that all of the basics are out of the way, completing the first level now gives me access to the levels from episode 2 and 3, but I decided to just continue the story in The Phantom Menace instead. Chapter 2 in The Phantom Menace brings us through the swamps of Naboo in the midst of war between the Trade Federation and the Galactic Republic. Playing again as Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan, I make my way through fighting crossing droids, and they save everyone everyone's favorite character, Jar Jar Binks. All jokes aside though, Jar Jar is actually really useful in this game. He has the ability to double jump really high, which I used for lots of mini kits down the line. After lots of jumping around with Jar Jar, filling up the stud bar, and collecting 6 out of the 10 mini kits, I came to the end of the level and earned myself another achievement. And of course got the GOAT Jar Jar added to my character roster. The next level of this story I'm not really the biggest fan of. I just think it's kind of boring and it drags out for way too long. For 3/4 of this level you play as Queen Amidala and everyone's favorite Star Wars character, actually this time, Captain Panica. In this level we escape Theed Palace from the attacking droids. Yeah, this level isn't really entertaining to me, mainly because the characters you play as only ability is having a blaster as a weapon. You do end up meeting with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in the last quarter of the level, but it's still not enough to salvage this level. I did fill up the stud bar though, and once I completed it, I earned another achievement and unlocked Queen Amidala and Captain Panica for use in free play. The next level in this story is one I'm sure everyone who's ever played this game has fond memories of, and not good ones either. Pod racing, often considered to be one of the hardest levels to ever exist when you were a 10-year-old boy. Forget being a 10-year-old boy, I struggled on this level even as a 23-year-old man. I mean, look at me right here, fully sat up in my chair, back hunched, face shoved in front of the screen, mouth wide open, haven't blinked in 5 minutes, and still struggling. What makes this level so difficult, you may ask? Well, for starters, you move very fast, the controls are very stiff, there are lots of obstacles you have to dodge, and if you crash into something, the checkpoints are not very forgiving. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there is a time limit between each checkpoint, which again is not very forgiving at all, and if you don't reach the next checkpoint before the timer ends, you have to restart from the last checkpoint. Unfortunately, I was not able to fill the stud bar on this level, but I did earn an achievement for completion, so I'll just have to come back later to try and fill it up again. The 5th level takes place once again in Theed Palace, but this time at least we get to play with a whole posse of characters, including Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Captain Panica, Padme, Anakin Skywalker as a boy, and the debut of R2-D2 in this story. Anakin has the ability to crawl into small gates, and R2-D2 can interact with astromech panels. Again, this level is just not my favorite. I think once again it just drags on for way too long and feels more tedious to complete rather than rewarding and fun. The level is more combat based rather than puzzle based, and there's only so much fun you can have from Lego Combat. I mean, it's literally just spamming square. But I was able to fill up the stud bar again and complete the level, earning myself another achievement, anti-impeachment. Finally, the big payoff to this movie was the epic battle with Darth Maul, one of the coolest characters in Star Wars. This is an example of a level that is mostly combat based but is actually enjoyable, as the entire level is focused on chasing down Darth Maul until the final showdown. The boss fight in these games are very one-dimensional in the sense that all it takes to beat a boss is forcing an object onto them, then double jumping and lightsaber slamming onto him until all of his hearts are gone, which is kind of broken considering you almost never get hit doing this. Anyways, once I beat Darth Maul, Qui-Gon gets pieced up, Obi-Wan goes on his Vaughn timing and pieces up Maul, and we complete the chapter, earning the achievement Darth Maul, which puts a wrap on episode 1, and I make my way instantly to episode 2. The first chapter of episode 2 starts out with us landing on one of my favorite planets in the Star Wars galaxy, Kamino. Playing as Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and Astromech R4P17, this level takes us through Obi-Wan's process of tracking down bounty hunter Jango Fett, while also learning about the production of the clone army. This level has always been one of my favorites of the prequel trilogy. Chasing Jango Fett through the stormy and gloomy atmosphere of Kamino is still fun to this day. The level design is great, and the Jango Fett boss battle at the end of the level rocks. My only complaint about the level is, what the hell are these things supposed to be? TT Games really said we can't have a level in our game without a bunch of pointless and annoying enemies to spam square at. Boom, weird flying droid thingies. Once I defeat Jango, the level ends and I earn the achievement Father of All. The next level takes us into the Geonosian droid factory as Padawan Anakin and Padme, step on me mommy, walks their way into the factory in hopes to save a captured Obi-Wan Kenobi. This level is another banger. It has a really nice balance of combat and puzzles, and traversing through the factory is just really cool to play through and look at. A little ways into the level we even meet up with C-3PO, which marks the first time that we get to play as him in the franchise's history. In this part of the movie, R2-D2 just whips out rocket boosters just out of nowhere, and because of that scene, that's an ability that R2-D2 has in every single LEGO Star Wars game except the 2 newer titles. But that makes R2 a character that is going to be pretty useful in free play later. And of course, R2 also has this. Yo, they gave an achievement for his death, bro. They got bull knowledge, second greatest death sound in gaming history. At the end of the mission, we free Obi-Wan from his constraints, but not for very long, as we are captured by Jango Fett and a bunch of droids. That earns us yet another achievement, as well as fills out the whole top row of our character roster. Continuing on Geonosis, this next level brings us to the Jedi Battle of Geonosis, where we play as the same group of characters from the last chapter, but now we add Obi-Wan and Mr. Aura Farmer himself, Mace Windu. Here my goal at first is to free all of our heroes from the constraints they are put in. Once they are all free, we then have one last battle with Jango Fett before cutting his head off in front of his own kid. And that would end the level. Quick, easy, and we can now head to the finale of this movie. Before the cool finale of this movie, we have to complete another vehicle level. Yeah, TT Games didn't learn from the pod racing level, as here they present us with Gunship Cavalry. This level is an auto-scroller vehicle level with some of the stiffest controls I've ever had the displeasure to play with in a video game. This level only has 2 checkpoints, so if you die on this first part, you then have to restart the entire section of that level again. The second part of the level isn't that bad, as you have a locked camera angle and you can only move left and right. This part is timed, but it's not too bad, as all you have to do is destroy things to eventually blow this structure up. But the first part of this level just flat out sucks. Alright, we did it, man. Thank God. Jesus, screw this level, dude. This level is terrible. Nice, we got the achievement. Now get me out. Never want to play it again. Now for the finale of this movie, the fight with Count Dooku. But something that's insane about this level is the amount of studs set to fill up the bar. You only need 3,000 studs to fill up the bar, which in today's standard is absolutely insane. And you'll see why later in this video. Anyways, we fight Count Dooku, Anakin gets pieced up, and Grandfather Aura Farmer Yoda comes in to save the day. He also has the greatest death sound in video game history. Yes, yes, I was hoping they would have an achievement for that. Let's go. We don't quite defeat Count Dooku, but we fend him off for now, and that ends off episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I can now make my way onto the final movie of this game, Revenge of the Sith. Fun fact about Revenge of the Sith: this game was actually released over a month before the theatrical release of Revenge of the Sith, and a week before the novelization and video game tie-in that was released. So the first ever way to experience the biggest movie of 2005 and the epic grand finale of the second trilogy of Star Wars was in Lego form, which I think is just absolutely hilarious. The first time we ever see the scene of Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader is in goofy Lego mumbles and grunts. The movie starts out in space as we play as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, now a Jedi Master, controlling a ship in an on-the-rail auto-scroller, making our way towards the ship that General Grievous is located on. This mission is still one of my favorites to this day, and because I'm a nerd, I managed to collect all 10 mini-kits on this level my first time through it, as well as filling the stud bar, completely making this the first level of the game that I have 100% completed. Now we get to see Anakin as a full-fledged Jedi Master, teamed up with Obi-Wan Kenobi, on the hunt for General Grievous. This level is awesome. Honestly, all of the levels in this movie are pretty damn good. From the boss fight with Count Dooku and saving the Chancellor, to escaping death from this giant elevator about to run us over, to the end where we finally catch up with Grievous and he escapes, leaving us to fight his super droids. By the way, these things are OP. This level is one of the best in the game, and at the end I earned the achievement for completing the level. Next up was a whole level dedicated to Obi-Wan's fight with General Grievous, and Commander Cody is just there for some reason. He's just having a good old time. This level's cool. It's short, it doesn't last too long, and it's pretty fun. But I gotta ask, What did Commander Cody think he was about to do right there? The next level takes place on Kashyyyk with Chewbacca, Yoda, and the best character in the game, Wookiee. This is definitely one of the weaker levels of this movie, but what makes it so bad in this game in particular is the way Yoda moves in this game. Yoda has 3 different ways that he moves: without his lightsaber out, with his lightsaber out, and on this weird little hoverboard thing. This is way too slow, this has no control, and this has some weird kind of acceleration on it, and you can't do anything with Yoda while he sat down. Controlling Yoda feels more like a chore rather than actually enjoyable. Anyways, in this mission we get to live through the start of Order 66, as the main enemies in this mission are the clones. Chewie and Yoda are literally the most wanted people on this planet. They got every single army trying to hunt them down, but we make it through as the mission ends with Yoda taking off in his space shuttle, and we get the achievement for completion. This next level is a weird one. Since the game came out before the movie was released, this scene was included where there were clones disguised as Jedi as Yoda and Obi-Wan traverse through the Jedi Temple. The issue with this is these scenes were actually cut from the movie and now exist exclusively in the game, and it just has that feeling more of a bonus level rather than playing through the movie. The only thing that is included in the movie today is the end of the level where Yoda and Obi-Wan find a hologram of Anakin, but in the game the hologram shows Anakin killing Shakti, which was also cut from the movie. Again, this level isn't bad, it just kind of feels like an outlier, which in turn doesn't make me really care to play through this level as much. But of course I do get an achievement for completing it. Here we are now, the final level of the main story, and is also my personal favorite level of the game. The big finale of Revenge of the Sith actually sees Anakin and Obi-Wan working together for majority of the level, as the fast-paced nature of this level forces both characters to work together to prevent each other from dying from everything crumbling around them. This is another level where I just needed to lock in, even as an adult. Alright, gotta lock in. This is another part where as an 8-year-old kid, you have to literally have the lock-in of the century to do this shit. The lock-in of the century. Look at this game, the platforming, bro. Like, they expected 8-year-old kids to do this shit? Like, bro, 8-year-old me damn near, like, almost cried because I couldn't do it. Alright, I think we got it, though. It's not as bad now that I'm 23. See, like, pod racing's still hard 23. This, now, like, alright, ready for the easiest boss fight ever? Hold on, he's kind of kicking my ass. Hold on. No, Anakin, you will not defeat me. Oh my god, we're neck and neck. Oh my god, we're neck and neck. He's dead. He's fucking dead. Oh my god, he's so over. Padme gives birth, Darth Vader is created, and bada bing, bada boom, the main story is now complete. My objective now was to go back into every level in the game and collect every mini kit, as well as finish the remaining levels that I didn't fill up the stud bar in. That's what I made priority number 1, as there were only 2 levels that I missed, those being pod racing for obvious reasons, and the final level of the game, Darth Vader. Once I finished both of those levels, I got the achievement True Jedi, and filling up the stud bar in each level in the game actually grants you access to the bonus level in the game that takes place at the beginning of A New Hope, where you play as Vader, or as this game likes to call him, Anakin Skywalker, parentheses Darth Vader, and a stormtrooper. This level isn't really anything special, and it basically just acts as a teaser for LEGO Star Wars 2. Now it is time to get all the mini kits in the game. I actually didn't need to unlock any characters in order to get every mini kit, as you get every character you need simply for playing through the main story. The characters that I used for the majority of collecting the mini kits were first Jar Jar Binks. He's one of the few characters in this game with a high jump, and he's the only one that you unlock from the story. He was needed for quite a bit of mini kits in the game. R2-D2, I used him for every astromech panel, as well as he can hover across gaps, which was super useful. C-3PO, I used him simply for protocol droid panels, and then for blaster characters, I pretty much just used whatever character the game gave me for that specific level. But that was pretty much it. I went through each level, and once I attained 100% completion in each movie, I was rewarded with the prospective achievement. I then had enough studs saved up throughout my entire playthrough to go ahead and unlock every character in the game, and that would get me the achievement They'll Soon Be Back. But this actually turned out to be a terrible mistake to do now, because for another achievement, I needed to collect 1 million studs. Now, this isn't like any other LEGO game where I can simply just put on a stud multiplier and get millions and even billions of studs. In fact, there was no red bricks in this game at all. Before purchasing all of the characters, I had just over 800,000 studs. And after purchasing all of them, I was now down to a little over 200,000, which means I had to get 800,000 studs without multipliers on a game where filling up the stud bar required only 3,000 studs in one of the levels. The fastest way to get studs that I found online was to go through the beginning section of Darth Vader, collect these couple groups of studs, die, then repeat. This was so beyond boring, I can't even begin to explain it. Not only do you need 1 million studs for the achievement, but the extra for invincibility cost 1 million studs alone. And guess what I have to do for an achievement? If you guessed purchase all extras and hints, you are correct. So for the rest of the extras in the game, I ended up using cheats. I was not about to sit here and mindlessly grind out these studs all for extras that I won't ever use, because I'm not going to play this game again. But here is me unlocking my final extra and getting the final achievement. And with that comes the end of the very first LEGO Star Wars game. And now we can finally move on to LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. LEGO Star Wars 1 is a very bare bones game compared to every other LEGO game created. I'm gonna list you off every single thing that LEGO Star Wars 2 adds or changes that was either not present in LEGO Star Wars 1 or is different from it. Red bricks, red brick extras like stud multipliers, bounty panels, stormtrooper panels, bounty hunter missions, silver objects, bounty hunters having thermal detonators, Jango and Boba Fett's jetpacks being functional like R2-D2's glide, objects only the Sith can use the Force on being indicated, characters having unique attacks and animations, character creation, gold bricks, true Jedi status pop up when filling the stud bar completely, better vehicle missions with free play, unlockable vehicles, bigger levels, drivable vehicles and animals in level, 2 stud bars, 1 for story, 1 for free play, super story, character bonus missions, mini kit bonus missions, the first LEGO city level, and the thing that I was most surprised to find out, build its. That's right, I didn't even realize, but there isn't a single build it in the entirety of LEGO Star Wars 1. The only time you build stuff together is when you use the Force. LEGO Star Wars 2 exponentially expands on the foundation that was laid down by LEGO Star Wars 1. And get this, it was released only a year and a half later from the first game. Now, I had some options for LEGO Star Wars 2. There are 3 different stacks for this game, the first one being the obvious one, which was the Platinum Trophy on PlayStation. LEGO Star Wars 2 was eventually added to the Classics catalog through the PSP port, but it was added well after I had recorded for this video. So that leaves either the Xbox achievement stacks or the PS2 Retro achievement stack. I once again decided to go with the Retro achievement stack because I thought they were more entertaining and they actually feature a challenge unlike the Xbox stack, which was just like every other LEGO Platinum. The PS2 Retro achievement stack has a whopping 103 achievements, which features a no death run for each level in the game and requires me to get true Jedi on each story mission without using any extras. But without further ado, let's dive into the second LEGO Star Wars. LEGO Star Wars 2 follows the events of the original trilogy movies, those being A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Once the game is booted up for the first time, we are brought into the new main hub for this game, the Mos Eisley Cantina. We are shown a gate opening representing the 4th movie, and just like the other game, I am limited to the amount of levels I can choose from the start, as the only available level to me is Chapter 1 of Episode 4. The level starts off with the iconic opening of A New Hope in LEGO form, and we are introduced to the menacing Darth Vader. In this level, we play as Princess Leia, of course, and Captain Antilles. Now, Captain Antilles is at least a little bit more memorable than Captain Panica, because he's the one who gets choked out by Vader at the very start of the movie. As soon as we can control the characters, we are immediately introduced to the new build-it mechanic, where we can take a bunch of bouncing LEGO objects and build them into something that will help me progress through the level. For example, here I build 2 panels that grant me access to the next room once they are built. Now let's talk about this icon at the bottom right of the screen. This is the indicator that represents if the no death run on the level is still active. If the icon is still on the screen, it means you're good to go and the achievement can still be earned. But if it disappears, that means you failed the no death run and you must restart the level in order to get it. To complete a no death run, you must keep both the character you are controlling and your companion alive for the entirety of the level. So let's say you keep the character you're controlling alive for the entirety of the level, but your CPU teammate decides to be an absolute idiot and walk off a cliff. That means that the no death run has failed. You also cannot use ghost characters or any kind of extras because that will also fail the achievement. I was actually able to get the no death run for the first mission of the game pretty easily, because for the second half of the mission, you play as the 2 droids and enemies do not target any droids in this game, which will be extremely useful for later no death runs. Once the mission ends, I earn 3 achievements, 1 for simply completing the mission, 1 for completing the no death run, and 1 for earning true Jedi on the level. I earned the best character in Star Wars, Rebel Friend. The studs I collected are added to my total stud count, and I earned 2 of the newly added gold bricks. The next level takes us to Tatooine, Tatooine, where we meet up with the hero of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, and now aged Obi-Wan Kenobi, going by the alias Ben Kenobi, as we travel through the wastes of Tatooine. This level really shows how much more expanded this game is, as the length of this level outweighs the length of any level in the first LEGO Star Wars. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the levels in this game feel more bloated and drag out way too long. This level is a huge example of that. The amount of studs you need to get true Jedi in each level of this game is also significantly increased, because just on the second mission of the game, the goal is 75,000 studs. I don't think a level on the first game came even close to that count, but unfortunately I got destroyed by a Tusken Raider in the mission, so I failed the no death run, but I did finish the mission and got true Jedi, so I earned 2 achievements. The next mission, we go through the main town of Tatooine until we find ourselves in the cantina, where we finally meet Han Solo and Chewbacca, which is who we play as for the back end of this level. This mission is fun. Yeah, it's a long one, but isn't boring, and it's pretty action-packed. I got through the level without true Jedi, and I wasn't able to beat the no death run, so I'm a complete failure and only ended this mission with 1 achievement. The next 2 missions of this movie both take place on the Death Star, one where we save Princess Leia, and the other where we make our escape. I made it out of both missions with the true Jedi status, but I failed the no death run on both missions. These levels, you'll see, gave me some troubles later. In these missions, we are introduced to a new type of panel we can interact with, which were the Stormtrooper panels. These panels can only be used successfully by people either a part of the Empire, such as a Stormtrooper, Darth Vader himself, and more. But since we're playing as Luke and Han Solo disguised as a Stormtrooper in this mission, they can access the panel after they put on a Stormtrooper helmet obtained by pulling the lever at a hat station found inside of the level. If you are killed while wearing the helmet or hit, the helmet is gone and you must get another one. Pretty cool way to progress the mission, I might add. Except in this scenario where there's just a crap load of Stormtroopers and I have to make it all the way to this section without getting hit so I can access the Stormtrooper panel, and the Stormtroopers are never ending and there's sharpshooters, so I just can't get to the god. Anyways, once I completed these 2 missions, I was awarded with 2 achievements each. The final mission of A New Hope is a much improved take on vehicle missions. No longer are we set on an auto scroller or an on the rail mission. We can now freely fly around the playing field we are dealt. Here we play as Luke Skywalker in an X-Wing as we play through the famous trench run in the Death Star. The vehicle missions were the hardest in the game to no death run, and of course I didn't get it on my first try, but in turn they were also the easiest in the game to earn true Jedi on. So once I blew up the Death Star, we complete the mission with 2 achievements and we finish the first movie, which means we can now move on to the best Star Wars movie. Now, despite this being the best Star Wars movie, the first mission of this one really sucks. Another vehicle mission, but this time we play in a snowspeeder and battle against AT-ATs and AT-STs on Hoth. To progress through the mission, you must not only destroy a bunch of AT-ATs and STs, but you must hook a bomb on the back of your speeder, then take the bomb all the way over to something you can blow up, which most of the time is a wall preventing you from progressing the level, and the controls while doing this really suck. On top of this, there are also these annoying Imperial probe droids that latch onto the bomb and prevent you from moving, or can just flat out take it from you. This level is dreadful. And no, I wasn't able to get the no death or even get the true Jedi, which means I'll be seeing a lot more of this mission down the line. Did I mention that this level sucks and I hate it? The next mission though is actually a fun one. I play as Han and Leia making their escape from the Hoth base, while also meeting up with C-3PO and Chewbacca down the line. This was a nice quick level, and I got out of it with 2 achievements because once again, I failed the no death run. Oh, look at this, immediately back to another vehicle mission. So TT Games thought just because they revamped their vehicle missions that we wanted more in this game. This level starts out okay, but by the end is just absolutely terrible. And don't even get me started on trying to no death run this level. TIE fighters are just absolutely spammed on this level. I mean, they just don't stop coming. 2, to progress through the level, you need to shoot these rocks that are literally everywhere. Like seriously, I die more crashing into the rocks than I do the TIE fighter shooting you. Once you destroy one of these rocks, there's a chance that this pink little orb can pop out, which is a torpedo that can be used to destroy these little pink panels right here. Now, you can only hold 3 of these at once, and most of the time, these walls that you have to get through require you to destroy 5 of the panels. And this is how you progress for literally every every part of the level. On the bright side though, I did get True Jedi for this level, so at least there's that. So I made it out with 2 achievements. Next up is Dagobah, where we finally get to learn the ways of the Force with Luke from Yoda. This level right here is back at it with just the random enemy spam. Bats and snakes just decide to come out of literally nowhere and attack you during this level, which you could probably guess because of that failure on the no death run. This level was pretty chill though. Luke learns the ways of the Force. He has a small boss fight with a ghost Darth Vader, and we end the mission with Yoda helping him pull his X-Wing out of the swamp. And I earned another 2 achievements. Now that Luke thinks he's a master at the art of the Force, he makes his way to Bespin where his friends are captured in an attempt to save them from the Empire. In this level is where I played through the famous first fight of Luke versus Darth Vader. This level is fun. It kind of reminds me of the Darth Maul level from the first game. The whole level is focused on chasing Darth Vader leading up to the epic finale. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to no death it though, but not because of Darth Vader, it was because the swarm of stormtroopers. Because you know, all the stormtroopers that were around while Luke and Vader had a lightsaber duel. After defeating Daddy Vader, we get 2 achievements, one for completing the level and another one for getting True Jedi. The big finale of this movie was the gang making their escape from Bespin. Well, besides Han, he's now a statue for Jabba to look at. And by taking just one good look at Jabba, probably do other things as well. In this mission, I get to play as Lando Calrissian, and with him, I mark the fastest I have probably died in any level. Yo, alright, well, I haven't even made it past the first room yet, but there it is. I'm dead already. That's gotta be a record so far, fastest I've ever lost a no death run. Jesus, man. At least I don't gotta stress about that now. There was no way I was gonna get this on my first try anyways. This level is very combat based, with swarms of stormtroopers coming at you basically the entire mission. Let's not forget the mini boss fight with Boba Fett, which if he hits you with his gun, takes away 2 hearts. It was still a fun mission. I got True Jedi, which earned me 2 more achievements once I completed the level, and that marks the end of Empire Strikes Back. For being the best Star Wars movie, playing through it on this game was half great levels and half stinkers, which is unfortunate, but we only got 1 more movie left to complete for the main story. Oh man, Return of the Jedi. To me, this is by far the worst movie in Lego form. Now, I really enjoy Return of the Jedi. I think it's a great movie, but there are some people who are not really fond of this movie as well. Most people call it boring, that nothing really happens in it until the end, and my god does the boringness translate to the Lego form. Every level in this movie are just straight stinkers, except like 1. They are all boring and just completely bloated with nonsense and just way too long. In the first mission, we infiltrate Jabba's palace, playing as bounty hunter Princess Leia and Chewbacca, and we eventually meet up with Luke, R2-D2, and C-3PO. Not only is this mission boring as f, but these goddamn enemies right here are the most annoying enemies in Lego history. They are literal tanks, dude. They just sit there, swing their goddamn axe, phase through all of your attacks, they block all of your blaster shots if they're swinging their axe, and they just take so many hits to kill and swing so fast. So of course I didn't do the no death run. At the end of the level though, we free Han Solo and we are dropped down into the Rancor pit by Jabba the Hutt. We defeat the Rancor, Princess Leia is turned into mommy, and we get 2 achievements for completion. The second level is where we escape from Jabba's palace and Boba Fett gets eaten by the Sarlacc pit. Well, at least we thought he was, because good old Disney decided to bring him back, say he didn't get killed by the Sarlacc pit, and create this travesty of a show. Again, just a giant level for no reason, and my god, the enemy spam on this level is unbearable. The even better part of this level is it actually ended up glitching out on me. To end the level, you need to shoot these 2 targets right here, and the second target wouldn't destroy for me. As you can see, I'm sitting here shooting it, and it would just not work. Eventually, after like no joke 15 minutes straight of just trying to shoot this thing, it randomly just blew up. I don't know what I did or what made it just decide to work. I even was looking things up trying to get it to work. No one had a solution besides restarting the level, and I was not trying to restart this level from scratch. But finally, after I was through this snooze fest of a level, I got my 2 achievements. Oh my goodness, don't even get me started started on Speeder Showdown. I'm being serious when I say this. This is genuinely one of the worst designed levels I have ever played in a platforming game. This level is literally just walking through a giant flat space of nothing, killing a bunch of annoying ass stormtroopers, getting in the ATST and destroying the shield generator so you can progress to the next part, getting on the speeder, killing the stormtroopers that are on the speeders, repeats. It is awful. Here's me getting the 2 achievements because I don't even want to talk about this level anymore because all it does is just make me angry. The Battle of Endor, another level that's just an absolute snooze fest. This level again glitched out on me. To end the level, you're supposed to flip these 2 switches right here to then get rid of this force field, and you can build these 4 bombs and then the level ends. But I guess the game glitched out because I flipped the lever without my companion being next to the other one, and then as my lever was going back up because I ran out of time, he flipped his and it glitched the 2 levers down. And unfortunately, there was no recovering this one. That was it. I had to restart the entire level from the beginning. Screw that level. Like seriously, like screw that level. Here's the 2 achievements I got. Let's go on to the next one. Finally, we get to play at the literal only good level of this movie, Jedi Destiny. A level where you play as Luke Skywalker as well as Darth Vader for his son and father team up against the evil Emperor. This level is one of my favorites in the entire game. Luke and Darth Vader have to use some teamwork to get to him each time because he keeps running away like a little bitch. Despite this level being pretty easy, I actually didn't get True Jedi or the No Death run for this mission, but I did complete it, which earned me 1 achievement. And for the future, we're going to tally this time number 1 where we see this level across every Lego game. The last mission of the game is our hero's 2nd time blowing up the Death Star. Oh, and if you were wondering, the mission also sucked, and no, I didn't no death it. So if you were keeping track, I didn't no death run a single level in the entire main story except for the first level of the game. So great work by me, everybody. Round of applause. Could not die 1 single time in a kid's video game. Once we escape the Death Star after blowing it up, the mission ends with us getting 2 achievements, and with that comes the end of the main story, which meant it was now time to clean up the rest of this game in free play. My first goal was to finish up the rest of the True Jedi rankings that I missed in the main story, those being Mos Eisley Spaceport, Hoth Battle, and Jedi Destiny, which while doing Jedi Destiny, I actually ended up successfully completing the No Death run, marking the 2nd one that I have beaten. After that, the goal for each level was to of course collect all 10 mini kits in each level, find the red power brick, and fill up an additional True Jedi bar exclusive to free play. The only character I needed to purchase so I can get every mini kit and red brick was a bounty hunter, as they are needed to explode the newly introduced silver objects. So I went ahead and purchased Boba Fett to help me out. I got 1 achievement for each level. I got all the mini kits and red bricks in. In the last level of A New Hope, the red brick was the 2x stud multiplier, so I went ahead and purchased that immediately, and that made it so much easier to get all the True Jedi on the free play levels. That doesn't complete all of our tasks in A New Hope, as I still have to complete mini kit bonus, character bonus, and super story. Mini kit bonus is a level themed around the movie you are playing in, where there are a bunch of structures placed around the map, and your goal is to collect 1 million studs in under 5 minutes, all while playing as one of the mini kit vehicles unlocked for getting 10 mini kits in a level. Character bonus is the same exact thing, but you get to choose a character from the roster you have collected so far. I chose Boba Fett for each level because his blaster is OP and kills every enemy in 1 shot, which made it super easy. He also has the thermal detonator, which you can use to explode silver objects, which rewards you with lots of studs once you destroy them. Once I completed both of these, I earned an achievement. Now for super story. This is literally just a pointless mode added to the game to just pad game time. In super story, you have to go through every level in a movie and beat every single level in under an hour, or collect a total of 100,000 studs. But while doing this, I thought that you had to both beat the story in under an hour and get 100,000 studs. But that's just not true. You have to either do one or the other, making this just an excuse to make me play through the main story again, without extras I might add, for literally no reason. Once I beat it, I of course earned myself an achievement, but for some reason I don't have the footage of me doing so you're just gonna have to trust me that I got it. The only good thing to come out of doing this super story was I managed to get the No Death Run achievement for Junlin Waste, which has the most out-of-pocket achievement name, by the way. And I also got it in Most Icy Spaceport. The only thing I had to do now in A New Hope was complete 3 more no death runs, which I'll save for later because I now moved on to Empire Strikes Back. Nothing's changed with Empire, as again I get an achievement for getting all mini kits and the red brick in each level, an achievement for beating both bonus levels, and an achievement for beating Super Story, which I actually have the footage for this time. I only managed to complete 1 no death run though, as the only level I completed was Escape from Echo Base. And it was the same deal for terrible Return of the Jedi levels as well. And in Super Story, I managed to complete only 1 no death run, which was for the Battle of Endor. At this point, I had enough gold bricks to enter into the Lego City level for this game, which marks the franchise's first appearance of this particular level. If you don't know what this level entails, you get to choose a character to play as inside of this generic Lego City level, and your goal is to earn 1 million studs without using multipliers. If you watch my past Lego videos, you would know that I've had some troubles with these levels in the past, but this level wasn't that bad and didn't give me too much trouble. Once I beat it, I earned the achievement,
"A man has fallen into the river in Lego City."
After beating everything in the main levels, that would put my stud count at just over 5 million studs. With that, I went ahead and purchased all of the gold bricks in the shop, which earned me the trophy More Gold Than C-3PO. The next thing I did with my studs was purchase all of the bounty hunters in the shop, because once I did that, I gained access to the brand new bounty hunter missions. These are mini missions added into the game where you play as the big group of bounty hunters, and our objective is to find the character corresponding to the mission in under the time limit. These were pretty easy, there was only 10 of them, and I got an achievement for completing each one. Alright, so we got the final mission we need here for bounty hunter missions. All I need to do is Han Solo, and then we have every single gold brick in the game. Alright, looks like we are in Hoth. So we have 2 minutes. Let's see if we can find him here. Oh my god, IG-88 can't build. I forgot about that. Ah, damn, do we have to go through the whole entire level to get this dude? Where's this dude at? Ah, there he is. I just saw him. I just saw his feet. He's right on that ledge. Ride this around, and oh, no, dude, come on. Get up there, IG. No, what the f? Dude, I swear to God. There we go. What the hell, IG-88? Why couldn't you get up there? So that'll get us 2 achievements. That'll get us McClunky for completing Han Solo's bounty hunter mission, and then bricked up for getting all 99 gold bricks in the game. There we go. I'm feeling a little bricked up myself. Huh? Now that I had every gold brick, I can now build the stud fountain, which is what I use to grind out studs so I could buy the rest of the multipliers, which gave me a boost of times 3,840, which easily gave me all of the studs I needed to purchase the rest of the red bricks, characters, vehicles, and hints, and that would finally earn me my 100% completion. Which leaves me with one final thing that I had to do to completely master this stack. No death runs. I'm gonna go into bigger detail on how I made these no death runs as easy as possible for myself, and hopefully I can help some of you guys if you want to attempt this yourself. The first level I needed to do was Death Star Escape. This level was one of the hardest in the game because of the sheer amount of stormtroopers in this level. My best shot was for a majority of the level to play as a Jedi character, especially at the part where you enter a room filled with like 20 stormtroopers. What I did was get up close and personal with them while holding down square, which would make it so I won't get hit, and hopefully from them shooting at me, the blaster bolts would reflect back at them and kill them. The other trick was to play as a droid as much as you can, because like I mentioned before, the enemies do not target droids. After many attempts, I was finally able to beat it. The last level of A New Hope that I needed was Rebel Attack, a vehicle mission. These levels were actually the hardest in the game because there was no trick to staying alive here. I just had to shoot and pray. There was no running from the amount of TIE fighters or whatever is attacking you. After about 5 tries though, I did manage to get it. Hoth Battle was the next no death run, and this was probably the easiest vehicle mission in the game, and I managed to get this done pretty quick. Same with Falcon Flight. The goal with this one was to not crash into the rocks, as the TIE fighters barely hit you in this level, and they grant you a heart pretty much every time you kill one. Dagobah was the next no death run I had to do, which was made really easy once I switched from trying to kill the bats and snakes with a lightsaber and instead killing them from a distance with a blaster. The only other obstacle in this was platforming, which I'm a master at, so I easily completed this level. For Cloud City Trap, the only obstacle for me was this part in the Vader fight, where there are just a crap load of stormtroopers that start to spawn. So what I did was literally stay as R2-D2 for the entirety while they spawn, activate the panel to get Darth Vader down from where he was, and then just sit there and hold square with a Jedi character, wait for all the stormtroopers to just kill themselves with their own blaster bolts, then go ahead and attack Darth Vader only after he has done all of his attacks. You do not want to try and do a lightsaber slam as he is swinging his lightsaber, because most of the time while he's swinging, you are going to get hit by it. Following these strategies made the rest of this level a piece of cake. Betrayal over Bespin was pretty much using a droid for the entire level, because this level is filled with stormtroopers. R2-D2 was really my best friend in this level. And once again at the end, holding square and let all of the stormtroopers and generals kill themselves with their own bolts made the final part easy peasy. Boba Fett was my best friend in Jabba's palace though, because his blaster is really OP and can one-shot the guards. When normally with a blaster that, let's say, someone like Han Solo uses or a lightsaber, they are killed in 2 shots. So he would rip right through all of the enemies, propelling me to another light achievement. My trick in the Great Pit of Carkoon, besides my teammates not knowing how to cross a gap and failing me about 10 times, was again holding square with a Jedi or a Sith was my best friend from all of the blaster bolts coming at me. And at the top of the level, when you need to destroy the 2 big bombs to end the level, what you can do is actually use a bounty hunter's thermal detonators to explode these, instead of going all the way to the end of the boat and building the turrets to then shoot them and end the level. Once I got past the first section of the level, the rest was pretty easy. Only 2 more no death runs in the game, and they happen to be the most annoying in the game, including the worst level in the entirety of the game, Speeder Showdown. This level blows in just every aspect of gaming. I can't stand this level. And it wasn't even the actual speeder part that was hard, it was dealing with these stupid stormtroopers and ATSTs the whole time. There was no avoiding going head to head with these enemies in this level, because you need to use the force to get the stormtroopers out of the ATSTs or else they will obliterate you. The thing that frustrated me the most was I actually got all the way to the end of this level and choked it on the literal easiest part.
No, bro! What? He can hit me?
Oh my God, are we serious? Oh my God, now I gotta restart literally the entire level, bro. Literally all I had to do was flip these 2 levers right here and the mission was over. But I was scared that the stormtroopers that were spawning would kill me while I was trying to flip them. And while trying to get rid of the stormtroopers, this dumbass AT-AT shot me down and killed me. After that, it was pain after pain, and then I tried an attempt on Into the Death Star, and it was also pain and some more pain. That night, I decided to go to bed and try them both on a good night's rest, and on the next day, the unthinkable happened. Last part. Come on. All you gotta do is hold forward. Come on. We're at max hearts. The only thing that can kill us is the fire this time. Come on. End the level. Give me my final achievement. This is it. Oh, wait, no, it's not it. One more section. This is it. Come on. Mastered. Let's go. Oh, thank God. 104 achievements for LEGO Star Wars 2. We are done, man. That ends off LEGO Star Wars 2. A huge improvement from LEGO Star Wars 1 gameplay-wise with all the mechanics that were added, but I'm not gonna lie, the level design on some of these levels were a huge disappointment. But finally, that would take us over to, I'm sure, the most anticipated game of this video, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. 1 year later, on November 6, 2007, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga was released, which took the stories of the first two games and combined them into one definitive experience. This is a game that I have many fond memories of, and it's not only my favorite LEGO game of all time, it's one of my favorite games ever. I mean, my mousepad quite literally is the roster of this game. I get reminded of this game's greatness every time I sit down at my desk. The game, unfortunately, does not have a platinum trophy. Sony add PS3 games to classics, please, with trophies. But it does have Xbox achievements, which is what I will be going for today. I'm not going to be going over too much of the story in this game, unfortunately, because it's literally the same story as the first two games, which I've already gone into extensive detail about. The only differences in the story is in episode 1, they changed the pod racing level and made it way easier than the first game. And in episode 2, they added an extra level at the beginning of the movie where you chase down the bounty hunter trying to kill Padme in a speeder playing as Anakin and Obi-Wan. Other than that, the rest of the story plays out the exact same. You get one achievement at the end of each movie for completing it, as well as I got some miscellaneous achievements throughout the story, such as destroying 300 droids, destroying 300 stormtroopers, destroying 50 TIE fighters, making 100 build-its, and lastly, performing 200 perfect lightsaber deflections. I love this game's story, but my god, this game's 100% is as bad as it gets with LEGO games. Super Story makes a return in this game, but instead of having to do it 3 times, I now have to do it for 6 different movies. Better yet, you don't get an achievement for doing these, and you also don't even get a gold brick for completing these. But of course, they are required for the 100%, which we need to do to get the achievement 100%. The prequel Super Stories were pretty quick. I finished each in under a half hour. It was the original trilogy movies that took me the longest, especially episode 6, which took me 51 minutes to complete. This also sucked because I had started this game right after I just did LEGO Star Wars 2, and I had to do these Super Stories again right after I literally just got done doing them. During episode 4's Super Story though, I did end up getting an achievement for doing the Death Star trench run without firing. But the good news is, after I was done with each Super Story, I no longer have to do any more for the rest of this video. Thank God. In the hub, which again is the Mos Eisley Cantina, there is a room where you could walk into, and there's a bunch of bonus levels that you could play through, and you can unlock as you earn gold bricks. Once you earn the required amount of gold bricks to go into the bonus level, you can then build the portal and go in. There are 6 bonus levels, and you earn a gold brick each time you complete one. The first bonus level was the old pod race level from the first LEGO Star Wars game. You know, the one that made you want to rip your hair out when you were 8 years old, and also as a 23-year-old adult. Of course they brought this back. I thought I was done with this stupid level, and nope, I was not. But I don't know, on this game, it didn't really seem as hard as it was in the first LEGO Star Wars. Maybe it was because the controls were better, but it didn't make me want to rip my hair out like it did in the past. The next level was called Anakin's Flight, which was a level that was originally supposed to be on the first LEGO Star Wars game, but was ultimately cut along with Bounty Hunter Pursuit. Bounty Hunter Pursuit ended up making it into the game, but Anakin's Flight still did not. This level follows the end of The Phantom Menace when young Anakin Skywalker takes a Naboo starfighter and joins the attack against the Trade Federation ship. Personally, I think this level would have been a way better fit than one of the 2 boring Naboo levels. It wasn't a crazy level or anything, it kind of felt like the last level of episode 4, but it was still a cool little flight level. The next level, oh my goodness, are we kidding? They just had to torture me and make me play through the old gunship cavalry level again, huh? The good news is the remake of this level in this game actually isn't that terrible. The level in the other game though is god-awful. Another level returning from LEGO Star Wars 1 though is the A New Hope bonus level. This level is still pretty basic and bland. Finally, there was not only 1 LEGO City level in this game, but 2! The one that was in LEGO Star Wars 2 and a brand new LEGO City level for this game. Now again, I'm not a fan of these levels at all. Luckily, I didn't have any issues with these and I got them done pretty quick. Bounty Hunter missions also returned in this game and are unlocked the same exact way by unlocking every bounty hunter. In LEGO Star Wars 2, there are only 10 levels, but in the complete Saga, they double that and make it into 20 levels, now including some of the prequel characters. I've always liked these levels, man. They're nothing special, but they're just so satisfying to complete, and maybe it's because I just like playing as the bounty hunter so much. They're just quick hide and seek levels, and you get a gold brick for completing each one. Now it is time to collect every single mini kit in every single level of the game for a grand total of 360 mini kits, as well as collecting all 36 red bricks. This is always my favorite part of LEGO games. It just feels so rewarding to go into each level and complete literally everything possible that you can do inside of them. It's also fun just getting to play as any characters you want. Like, hell yeah, I could take Darth Vader into the Trade Federation ship and just destroy every droid in sight. As I collected everything, I also kept collecting lots and lots of studs and purchasing a bunch of extras, upgrading my multipliers. I even managed to unlock every character in the game, with the last one being Indiana Jones. Yes, you heard that right. You can unlock Indiana Jones by going into the bonus level room and watching the trailer for LEGO Indiana Jones. And then all you had to do was go to the shop and purchase it. Once I did that, I got the achievement collector. I also got a couple miscellaneous trophies such as Disco King for setting off all 3 discos, riding every type of mount, destroying 10 characters with 1 grenade. I was even collecting so many studs that I managed to max out the stud counter. But of course, once I collected every mini kit in the game, I got the trophy Mini Kit Mayhem. I also got the trophy Secret Master for collecting all 36 red bricks. Now that's fun and all, but here's the funny thing. What if I told you that that wasn't the end of the mini kit collecting? But Brandon, you just collected all 360 mini kits. What more is there to do? Well, my friend, TT Games decided, let's make 360 more mini kits, but blue. That's right, next to the normal story mode and free play options in each level, they added a brand new challenge mode, which is just playing through every level again, but this time you gotta collect 10 randomly spread out blue mini kits in under 10 minutes. This is the dumbest thing ever. I literally just collected a ton of mini kits, TT Games. Why would I want to do it all over again? That would make it so you have to play through each level in the game, 36 levels, 4 separate times. The story, the free play, super story, and now challenge kits. I guess what made this a little bit more bearable was that I can use the ghost characters, and when you're playing as the ghost characters, the enemies won't attack you because they don't see you. My favorite part about this though, my absolute favorite part about this, was when I would collect 8 or 9 of the 10 mini kits, then I would get to the end of the level and realize I missed one earlier in the level and I can't go back to get it now, which means I have to restart the entire level and collect all of those mini kits again. That was so much fun. That totally did make me want to take my Xbox and just punt that I'm sorry. I lost my cool a little bit there, but let me calm down. After collecting all these atrocious mini kits, I do get an achievement, right? Right? Are you Alright, now I can get back to enjoying the game. There was one achievement that concerned me even before I started collecting all of them. And that one achievement was online player for playing through an online level. LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga was one of 2 LEGO games that offered to play through all the levels in the game in online multiplayer and not just couch co-op. That other LEGO game tragically was LEGO Indiana Jones 2. Why, TC Games? Why? Why did we only include this in 2 games? Anyways, I was concerned because I didn't know if anyone would be looking to play an online multiplayer game in the big 2025. But fortunately, I was able to find a game, and thank God for this man right here because he decided to actually pick a good level. Alright, I actually got into someone's game. I can't get up to him to fight the Emperor. This is like the worst level. Okay, he jumped out. I'm sorry for speaking. Why did he jump? Buddy, you good? Dude, I had no idea this was in this game for this long. Why wasn't this in every LEGO game? Here we go. Now we can actually fight the Emperor. Guy, please, thank you. Buddy, you have to do the dark side. I'm Luke Skywalker, man. You're Darth Vader. There you go. There you go. What the f was that? Okay, you got it, bro. This is like the glitchiest. Oh my god, this dude just fell down. This is unbelievable LEGO gameplay in 2025, dude. Please. Okay, it actually let me jump. All right, hold on. I'm waiting. There you go. Get him. Oh, he liked that move, didn't he? He thinks he's still there. I think wait, he's the host and he's like behind me, it seems like. Or I don't even know, man. But that's gonna be the end of the level. I should get my achievement now. Hey, there we go. Online. We got 4% for True Jedi, but I got the achievement. Hey man, whoever this is, thank you very much for playing with me, but sir, I'm gonna have to dip out of the game.
Yeah, you remember when I said I could get back to enjoying the game? Well, I lied. I lied all to your faces, because another returning feature to 100% this game was the mini kit and character challenges, but doubled once again, because there are now 3 more to represent the prequel trilogy. These just suck, dude. Why did they decide to just add all of this extra stuff in the game? But once I completed these stupid challenges, I got my final gold brick, and of course, got that sweet, tasty 100%.
All right, that wasn't nearly as bad as it was on Lego Star Wars 2. But that is going to be our final gold brick. Going for gold, that is for getting all of the gold bricks in the game. And we should get another achievement right after that. 100%? I guess not. Maybe when we get back to the cantina, it'll give me the 100%? Please? No? How have we not gotten 100%? 99.8. I have no idea what I'm missing. Ah, that's what it was. I got 2 red bricks still to buy. That is on me. After I buy these 2, now we should have the 100% once this saves. And there it is, 100%. The game still has not given me the achievement though, but that's 100%. There is the 100% stud fountain. And I don't know why I'm not getting this achievement. There's my 100%. All right, cool. Thank God that popped, because I don't know what I would have done if it didn't.
To end off, there was a bunch of achievements for destroying one character while playing as another, such as destroying Anakin with Darth Vader, destroying Jango Fett with Boba Fett, destroying the Emperor with Darth Maul, destroying the Emperor with Mace Windu, destroying the Emperor playing as Kit Fisto, destroying Anakin with Count Dooku, destroying Darth Maul with Qui-Gon Jinn, destroying Darth Vader with Obi-Wan, and destroying Greedo playing as Han Solo. And that would be the end of Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Here's proof right here that I have every achievement. While I've always loved this game, this is actually my first time completely 100%ing it. And I gotta say, it's not really the greatest experience, but I'll still always love this game because the story is amazing and I just have way too much nostalgia for it. Yes, I am assuming. Now we can move on to the next Lego Star Wars game, which is one that actually really surprised me.
This late into the video, you guys finally get your first taste of Lego Star Wars that doesn't focus on the original 6 movies. Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars was released March 22nd, 2011, and in this game, you play through levels based on the first 2 seasons of the Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV show and the Clone Wars animated film. This is also the first game in this video that features a Platinum Trophy, and will pretty much be the first time I'm playing through this game. I played it a little bit when I was a kid, but I barely remember it, and I definitely have never 100% of this game, because of course that's exactly what I had to do to get the Platinum Trophy. The game starts you out in a prequel level that takes you all the way back to Attack of the Clones during the Battle of Geonosis. This level is definitely an upgrade compared to the level in the Complete Saga. To start, you fight the 3 monsters placed with Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan in the arena. After they are defeated, of course, Mr. Aura Farmer himself comes in and he faces off against Jango Fett. Off the bat, I will say the lightsaber combat in this game feels super smooth. In my opinion, this game definitely had the best lightsaber combat of the old generation games. After I defeat Jango Fett, the level ends off with the squad saving our fellow Jedi friends, and I earn the first trophy of the game. This is just the beginning. Similar to Lego Batman 1, the game now splits off into 3 different stories, following 3 different Clone Wars villains: General Grievous, Asajj Ventress, and Count Dooku. I, of course, chose my favorite villain of the Clone Wars, General Grievous's path. In each path, there are 6 levels each, paired with a prologue and an epilogue, counting up to a total of 20 levels in the main story, and this game features 130 gold bricks to collect, 30 less than what the Complete Saga had. In the first level of the Grievous Saga, Anakin, Ahsoka, Captain Rex, and our clone squad land on this ship where their plan is to blow some stuff up. This was the final Lego game in the franchise that featured the mumbling Lego characters comedy style. Every Lego game from then on would have fully recorded voice lines. But going back to the level, blowing stuff up is exactly what we would do. That and fighting lots of droids were the main focus of this level, and we even have an encounter with Grievous himself on the ship, and this guy has to be laced with cocaine or something, because this guy just does not let up. To attack him, I had to use the Force to throw an object at him, and I barely got a window to be able to do that, because this guy just kept on windmill swinging, and I mean non-stop. R2-D2 even got in on the action on this level, battling this black R2 unit. This dude R2-D2 in the Clone Wars is an absolute warrior, man. I love this guy. But of course, in normal LEGO game tradition, at the end of each level, you get a trophy, and in this level, I got the trophy. Follow me, boys. Up next, flight levels. Very hit or miss in every LEGO game. Either the worst level that you've ever played in your entire life, or an extremely mid level that is only fun because you have nostalgia for it. What I do like about the flight levels in this game though, is they have a nice blend of being a normal flight mission, but also you can land on certain areas of the mission and get back to controlling your character piloting the ship. It's a nice change up from just holding square and left stick for the entire mission until it's over. In the next mission, Padme and C-3PO get pulled into an enemy ship by a tractor beam, and it's up to Anakin and Obi-Wan to save them. One thing this game does in a lot of missions is split the group of characters into two separate groups. Then inside of the level, each group of characters goes off and does their own thing inside of the mission, helping the other side, and you have to switch characters accordingly throughout the whole mission. For example, in this level, Obi-Wan and R2-D2 are off battling General Grievous, while Anakin, Padme, and C-3PO do a whole lot of nothing, until Anakin eventually kamikazes the entire ship that's about to blow into a nearby moon. After he does that though, the mission ends and I earn myself another trophy. Then we got this Admiral Akbar looking dude who is Kit Fisto's Padawan. We play as them as we storm through the lair of Grievous in hopes to, I don't know, beat him? Like they were gonna do that anyways, and what the hell did they expect these clones to do against General goddamn Grievous? They wasn't doing nothing. But seriously, this dude Grievous was shooting more roids than Alex Rodriguez back in the day. He does not stop twirling those goddamn lightsabers. And just like how Kit Fisto is useless in the movies against Palpatine, he's also useless here because on our final battle with Grievous, he literally watches as his Padawan gets turned to fish fillet right in front of him, then flees the goddamn planet. And then no joke, the mission just ends right there. What a great Jedi Master he is, man, but at least we do get a trophy out of that. The next level, Rookies, sees us playing as Captain Rex, Commander Cody, Heavy, Fives, and Echo as they attempt to recapture a base that was taken from them by droids directed by General Grievous. This level is based on the 5th episode of the Clone Wars in Season 1 and is one of my favorite episodes to this day. They are successful at recapturing the base until General Grievous and his reinforcements arrive to ruin the day and take it back. Not wanting to give the base back to Grievous, the clones result to the idea of blowing the place up as the clones escape through the tunnels. But of course, things go wrong, which prompts the absolute goat Heavy taking matters into his own hands and manually blowing up the bombs himself, which destroys the base along with him in it. Rip to the goat, man. In the last level of the Grievous Saga, we see another split up of squads, where again, Obi-Wan battles Grievous the entire level, while Anakin pretty much again does jack. It's so crazy to think because of one little line that isn't supposed to really matter in Revenge of the Sith made Dave Filoni write this entire show so Anakin and General Grievous never meet. Anakin does make himself useful at the end of the level as he picks up Obi-Wan and we complete the final mission in the Grievous storyline and get the trophy We Live to Fight Another Day. The next storyline I decided to play through was the Count Dooku Saga, and the first level shows LEGO Star Wars 3's new gimmick levels, those being ground assault levels. In these levels, you play as two characters, in this case Mace Windu and Kit Fisto, and you have to go around this huge map they spawn you on and capture every enemy base. Friendly bases are marked in blue and enemy bases are marked in red. To capture an enemy base, you must break every structure inside of it and then rebuild a structure of your own in that area to claim it. Some of the bases get tricky down the line when you add that some droid bases or cannons are gold or silver, which require different kind of structures to destroy those objects. Some bases even have force fields around them that block you from using a cannon or a vehicle to destroy their structures without first deactivating the force field. Once you start capturing more and more bases, you gain access to better upgrades you can put in your base. The first two levels of the Dooku Saga were both ground assault levels, and the objective of each level was to simply destroy and capture every enemy base, and for doing so, I got a trophy for each level. Continuing on the gimmick levels of this saga, the next mission is another flight level, which I got a trophy for completing, and then another ground assault mission. Yeah, the missions for Count Dooku are pretty repetitive up to this point, because guess what this next level was? Yep, you're absolutely right, another ground assault mission. That again, I got a trophy for completing. At least the final mission of the Dooku story is an absolute banger, as this mission follows the story of the Legacy of Terror episode, an episode that scared the absolute crap out of me as a kid. In this level, Luminara is captured, so Anakin and Obi-Wan set out on a quest to rescue her. While doing that, they run into the Geonosian Queen, as well as a bunch of Geonosian bug zombies. Yes, I'm not kidding. We battle the Queen and beat her, and at the end of the level, we are chased by a giant swarm of undead Geonosian bugs. Scary stuff for 8-year-old me to see. Anyways, we escape the bugs, and that ends off the level, and also finishes the Dooku storyline. The final storyline to play through was the Sith character whose first TV appearance was in the 2003 Clone Wars animated movie, Asajj Ventress. The first level of the storyline actually serves as a prequel episode to the Clone Wars movie released in 2008. This level is packed full of action as we fight lots of droids, and half of the level is pretty much dueling with Ventress. At the end of the mission, Anakin and Obi-Wan come out on top as Ventress is left to get almost crushed by a giant robot. The final cutscene plays and I get the trophy. The pleasure is all mine, my dear. The next level, Ambush, is based on the very first level of the Clone Wars show. In this level, I play as Yoda and a squadron of troops as they push through a coral forest through a bunch of enemy droids. Yoda in this game finally is actually usable and really fun to play with, unlike how he was in LEGO Star Wars 1, 2, and the complete saga. A little into our journey, Lieutenant Thayer is wounded, and he now walks around the level with a droid head in his hand. With him now unusable, I have Master Yoda and just a clone with a rocket launcher to get me to the end of the level. Turns out that's all I need though, because after forcing these droid decas down a pit of death, the final cutscene of the level plays, where Ventress tries to assassinate the king via Count Dooku's orders. Luckily, Yoda aura farms a bit and prevents Ventress from doing that. Ventress escapes, and I get the trophy, Okay Clankers, Suck Lasers, and I have no idea why the trophy names for the main story are so long, and they just called the droids a slur. Our attention now shifts over from Asajj Ventress to an evil scientist named Dr. Nuvo Vindi, as he has created an airborne strain of a deadly virus called the Blue Shadow Virus, and he plans to release the virus on key star systems around the galaxy. We play as a huge lineup of characters in this level, including Ahsoka, Captain Rex, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Padme, Jar Jar... Why the hell is Jar Jar here? While mostly everybody enters the bunker where Vindi is, Obi-Wan decides to just freaking nuke his way in instead. And you know, the blast just does absolutely nothing to him, and he just waltzes his way right in. At some point, Padme and Jar Jar are captured and tortured by Vindi, and playing as Anakin, I must defeat Vindi to save them. Of course, I defeat him, free Padme and Jar Jar, but that doesn't come without a cost, as Vindi makes his escape and kills our fellow clone trooper that was with us. Now, Obi-Wan and Anakin make their pursuit towards Vindi, as Jar Jar and Padme make their way towards a droid holding a virus bomb, which Vindi has a detonator to. Padme and Jar Jar defeat the droid as Obi-Wan and Anakin defeat Vindi, and the level ends with me earning the trophy, Oops, What Happened? The final 3 levels of the story all follow the Battle of Ryloth, a battle that pinned the Republic and the Twi'lek Resistance against the Confederacy, who conquered Ryloth basically because they had dollar signs in their eyes. Storm over Ryloth was a space mission where I played as Anakin and Ahsoka to fight the Separatist blockade in front of Ryloth. Innocence of Ryloth sees you play as Obi-Wan, Commander Cody, and his squadron as they battle to retake the city full of invading droids. And the final level of the Ventress saga, Liberty of Ryloth, is a ground assault level, playing as Mace Windu and Commander Pons. In the end, we finally free Ryloth from its control, and I get a trophy that marks the end of the Ventress saga. There is one final level left in the main story, and that is the epilogue against the Zillo Beast. The level first starts out as a ground assault level, playing as Anakin, Mace Windu, Commander Pons, and Captain Rex. Once I completed the ground assault section, a cutscene plays showing the Republic proton bombing the attacking droids and wiping them out. But the effect of doing that was awakening the Zillo Beast, and now I have to defeat this giant monster. In order to defeat him, I must capture areas until I unlock a vehicle that can destroy the gold collar around his neck. I feel like it's necessary to mention that my PS3 was heavily struggling to run this level. What the hell is going on? My PS3 is literally breaking. Once I defeated the Zillo Beast, I got a trophy for beating the level, and that ends the playthrough of the main story. Now, of course, we move on to the free play. This game switches it up from how the past LEGO Star Wars games free play works. To start, there are 2 hub worlds in this game. The Resolute, where the quote-unquote good guys stay, and the Invisible Hand, where the quote-unquote bad guys stay. To get to the Invisible Hand, you can spawn in a vehicle in the hangar, then fly it over to the invisible hand, which is located right across from the Resolute. For landing on the invisible hand for the first time, I got the trophy, got a bad feeling about this. There is also no traditional shop in this game, and you unlock characters and red bricks by finding them around the 2 ships. On the invisible hand, I found that I had access to the bonus level called Castle of Doom. In this level, I play as Count Dooku and a Magna Guard, where Count Dooku abducts Jabba the Hutt's son and blames it on the Jedi. Anakin and Ahsoka save Jabba's son, and now we play as Dooku trying to stop them from returning Jabba's lost son, so his lie isn't unmasked. Is it morally wrong to play through this level? Yes, but I need the platinum, so I complete it, earning me the trophy. What a rata. I also was able to play through another bonus mission named Hostage Crisis, where I play as a bunch of bounty hunters launching an attack on the Senate building on Coruscant. This level was actually one of my favorites in the game. Some bounty hunters come equipped with a sniper, and at the beginning of the mission, I play as Aura Singh on a ship with IG-86, and I must pick off guards from afar with her sniper. At the end of the level, I unlocked pretty much every bounty hunter in the game and got the trophy, sure, as long as I get paid. Now it was time to collect all of the mini kits in this game. There were 220 in total, spanning across 22 levels, those being 20 story levels and 2 bonus levels. The only character I unlocked for free play was this droid right here that had its own panels throughout the game. Technically, I didn't need to unlock him, as most of the time inside of these levels, you could pick up his head and put it on to access the panels, but it was just easier to have him unlocked so I could just switch to him. Throughout getting all of the mini kits, I was also unlocking the multipliers and getting True Jedi on each level that I missed it on. Eventually, I unlocked them all, which granted me a multiplier of times 3,840, and I unlocked the trophy Jedi Master for achieving True Jedi in each level. The mini kits in this game are actually pretty cool in the case that they aren't just useless collectibles that give you access to look at a minifig version of a vehicle in the Star Wars universe. In this game, collecting all 10 mini kits in a level grants you access to spend studs to unlock a classic Star Wars character from the 6 mainline movies. Of course, there were 22 characters to unlock corresponding to the 22 levels in the game. For collecting every mini kit in the game, I get a trophy, a presence I've not felt since, and I now have access to purchase every classic character. As I was going around the room purchasing each character, I got the trophy Jango's Army for purchasing all clones after purchasing the Stormtrooper. After getting all of the mini kits, I decided to go around the 2 ships and unlock every character and red brick possible. Some characters were trapped in prison cells on the Resolute, and I could unlock all of them until I got to the final 2. To gain access to them, I needed to complete a Republic assault and a Separatist assault. I'll get into more detail on what that means later, but once I did that, I can now go back to purchase the final 2 characters in the cells, which got me the trophy, the Dark Side I Sense in You. In the final cell was also the home to the final red brick I needed to purchase to unlock the trophy Cheat. Now, back to the Republic and Separatist assaults. These are missions separate from the main game that you can do on each planet in the game, where you do a ground assault mission either playing as the Republic or the Separatists. Depending on who you're playing as when you complete the assault, the planet will either turn blue for the Republic or red for the Separatists. For 2 trophies, I had to turn every planet blue and every planet red. This was by far the worst part of this platinum, as this was super tedious and boring. There are 16 planets in total, and you had to beat each one with both the Republic and the Separatists, because you get a gold brick every time you complete one. So I had to sit here for basically an entire day doing these boring, repetitive, annoying missions. Thank God for this red brick super speeders, because if this didn't exist, this would have made the process twice as long. The red brick basically makes it so these little speeders right here in the game had the ability to destroy silver and gold objects. This is helpful because for some of the missions, all I had to do was go around and destroy a certain amount of statues or enemy bases, and super speeders allowed me to skip the process of capturing bases so I can unlock the vehicles that could destroy gold and silver objects. After finally completing every assault, I earned the trophy Admiral of the Fleet for completing all of the Republic assaults and Viceroy of the Fleet for completing all Separatist assaults. We're getting very close to the end of this platinum, and one more time I yet again have to complete every bounty hunter mission. There are 16 in total. I get a gold brick for completing each one, and for beating them all, I earned the trophy Isn't Negotiation the Jedi Way. Again, why are the trophy names for this game so long? Finally, I collected the rest of the characters, got the final space gold brick bricks I needed for all 130 gold bricks, which earned me the trophy Stealth Wealth, and then built the 130 gold brick statue, which got me the final vehicle that I needed, as well as the 100% trophy Impressive, Most Impressive. A couple of miscellaneous trophies later, and I had finally earned the platinum for LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. Overall, a very good LEGO game. As I mentioned before, I had never played this game as a kid, which is a shame because this was probably my second favorite LEGO Star Wars game behind LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Now, there is a debate to be had for this game being a better game than The Complete Saga, but I just have too much nostalgia for that game, so I can't put this one above it. Yes, I am blinded by nostalgia. Sue me. 5 years would go by without a LEGO Star Wars game until TT Games would release LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, a game based around the return to the Star Wars saga in 2015. Yes, they released an entire LEGO game based on one movie. I'm not going to spend too much time on this game because, well, this game isn't the greatest. It's boring, it feels forced, no pun intended, and it feels just really stiff. The best way I can describe this game is it just feels like filler, a cash grab to the biggest movie of 2015 and the return of the beloved Star Wars franchise. This game, in my opinion, is now made even more useless with the release of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga in 2022. I'll go more in depth for the story once we get to that game, but for now, I earned a trophy for completing every single level in the main story, as well I got some miscellaneous trophies throughout my playthrough, leaving my trophy count after the main story at 21 out of 70 trophies. The reason the trophy count is that high is not only will I be going for the Platinum trophy, but there was also 4 DLC packs released for this game with 5 trophies each, and I'm going to be getting every single one of those trophies as well. After beating the main story, you get access to 5 more bonus levels in the game that you can unlock by collecting the amount of gold bricks required to enter the level. The first of those levels being Poe to the Rescue. This is a mission that directly mirrors the sequence of events that happens in A New Hope, where Luke and Han Solo rescue Princess Leia from the Death Star. But in this version, it's Poe Dameron rescuing Admiral Akbar. It's a trap! No, Admiral, it's not. Relax. Of course, now that we've freed Admiral Akbar from his cell, we're under heavy fire from the First Order, so we have to get ourselves— It better not be a trap. God damn it, Admiral, there's no trap! Sorry about that. Sorry. We have to escape through the trash chute. Of course, now we have to get ourselves out of the trash compactor before we all get crushed and die. All jokes aside though, Admiral Akbar is actually a very important character to unlock, since he has the ability to dive in these small ponds, which transports me to a different location. Not gonna lie, he's like the only character in the game I know can do that, so that's why he was even more important for me, because I literally used him for every single pond throughout the entire game. I have no idea who else can. Besides that though, the level plays out pretty much the same as it does in A New Hope. We escape the trash compactor, fight a bunch of stormtroopers, and at the end, we flee through an asteroid field from the pursuing First Order. And of course, once the mission ends, I earn myself a trophy. The next mission was named Rathtar Hunting, and in this mission, we joined Chewbacca and Han Solo on a little backstory mission to see what they were doing before Rey and the gang met up with them in the movie. Turns out, they were hunting for these giant monsters that were chasing us around on the ship in that mission, and the crew they got to join them on the mission is interesting, to say the least. This mission has a cool horror element to it, and they did a really good job with making this level feel cinematic and making these Rathtars feel like a true threat. Walking through the caves and watching your squad just get picked off one by one, getting jump scared and having to escape out the grasp of an attacking Rathtar. Even the Rathtar just wrecking everything in the final portion of the level, where we battle these enemies for possession of the captured Rathtar. In the end, our partner stupidly gets himself eaten, and I ended the mission off with a trophy. Next up is Lor San Tekka's return. Lor San Tekka is the character Poe talks to at the beginning of The Force Awakens, and the character who gives the piece of the map to Luke Skywalker to BB-8. This mission is strictly just him arriving on Jakku and making his way to the village where Poe and him meet with the piece of the map. That's it. Pretty boring mission, wasn't my favorite. The next mission is called the Crimson Corsair, where you play as the man himself, Sidon Ithano, his first mate Quiggled, and Prue Suivant on a mission to recover stolen Resistance items from the First Order. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea who these characters were, but from what I found, he's a pirate that Poe mentions helped him in the movies, and he also has a whole book about him named The Crimson Corsair and the Lost Treasure of Count Dooku. The mission itself is nothing crazy, just making your way through the First Order base, but he is a pretty cool character, I must say. The ending of the level is some lighthearted fun, with the crew successfully getting back the stolen supplies, and them deciding to stop for some drive-through fast food, but Quiggled says,
"But no ice cream. You get it everywhere, and I'm not cleaning it up again.
Damn, why not, Quiggled? Some ice cream does sound kind of good right now, bro. Especially after pulling off a mission like that. Like, come on, bro, why not? Oh well, at least we got to witness a nice dance party at the end, as well as the trophy pop. The next mission, Trouble Over Tall, again directly mirrors the events at the end of Rogue One and the beginning of A New Hope, with Darth Vader storming onto the Rebel ship looking for the stolen secret plans of the Death Star. But instead, we got Captain Phasma and the stormtrooper that had a lightsaber battle with Finn storming onto a Resistance ship and looking for the location of the secret Resistance base. Again, not really an eventful level. All you do is wreak havoc on the ship until we find C-3PO, who's in possession of the map to the secret base, take it from him, but then this idiot stormtrooper throws it back to C-3PO as the doors to the escape pod closes, and the mission ends with me earning another trophy. The finale of the bonus levels was Ottogan Assault, was a mission where Kylo Ren and the First Order launch an attack on the Ottogans in order to locate Lor San Tekka, who, like I mentioned before, is in possession of the final piece of the map to Luke Skywalker. Of course, in this mission, we play as Kylo Ren, joined by Captain Phasma. The mission starts off with us flying into the planet and just wrecking everything. Then we take the fight to the ground, where we make our way to the leader and get the information Kylo needs. The mission then ends with Admiral Akbar commanding that Poe Dameron needs to go to Jakku immediately as Lor San Tekka is in danger. I then got 3 trophies, one for completing the mission, one for completing all new Star Wars adventures, and a trophy for getting all true Jedis, as this was the final level that I needed to do. From here, it was just going around on the 5 planets in the game and collecting every gold brick, completing every mission, those being First Order missions, Resistance missions, Scavenger missions, and Bounty Hunter missions. Completing all races, collecting each Carbonite brick. These were a pretty cool collectible in the game. Every time you collected one of these, you then gain access to unlock a classic character from the first 6 movies. You know, fan favorite characters such as Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett, Darth Maul, Grey Squadron Pilot, A-Wing Pilot, Death Star Trooper, Biff. And then finally, I needed to go into each level and collect every red brick and all 10 mini kits. Once I did that, I got a trophy for collecting every mini kit, and then one more once I purchased every red brick in the game. Before we move on to the final trophies, we got some work to do on the 4 DLC packs of the game, as there are 5 trophies per pack, adding up to an additional 20 trophies. Most of the pack's trophies consisted of completing the level, getting the true Jedi, getting all of the mini kits, and then 2 miscellaneous trophies. The first DLC pack was called the Phantom Limb. This level is a direct sequel to Trouble Over Tall, where you play as C-3PO and a bunch of other droids on the toxic planet of Tall. As you're playing through the mission, each droid keeps getting picked off one by one, and C-3PO eventually loses his arm. On the final stretch of the mission, you are down to only C-3PO and a captured First Order droid, OMR-1. The ending of this mission is actually pretty sad. The 2 surviving droids are sheltering from acid rain on the planet that would destroy both of them if they're exposed to it, but the machine to make the distress signal is out in the rain. So MR1 sacrifices himself to activate the distress signal and save C-3PO. 3PO takes his arm, making this the origin story of how C-3PO got his red arm. And Poe comes to save him, making this also a prequel to the level Poe to the Rescue. As during MR1's final moments, he tells C-3PO the location of Admiral Akbar. Absolute cinema.
This? No, it's my new arm, but it was a gift from a friend.
The second DLC mission fills the gaps between the moments of when the movie makes you think Poe didn't survive the crash to when Finn finds Rey at the Nima outpost. This DLC pack shows us how Poe made it out of the crash and shows us the events leading to how he got back to the Resistance. The gameplay of the level is nothing crazy. It's actually a pretty basic level. You make your way through the outpost fighting these crooks, and that's really it. Nothing that special. The third DLC mission, First Order Siege of Takodana, flips the script as we play now from the perspective of the First Order as they attack Maz Kanata's castle looking for Rey and BB-8. Another predictable level, you just go through the castle fighting Resistance troops until Kylo Ren finally catches up with Rey in the woods and captures her. The final DLC is an absolute snoozer. In this level, we play as Elsa from Frozen, Transparent R2-D2, and Squidward as they make their way off of the exploding Starkiller base. On the way to the landing pad, they fight stormtroopers and do some puzzles. On the last section of the mission, we're on a speeder escaping from the exploding planet, and that's pretty much it. To end off this platinum, there were still some miscellaneous trophies I needed to do, such as using the wrong droid on a droid panel, creating a custom character, destroying all panels in Starkiller Base as Kylo Ren, finishing a free play level as Chewbacca and Maz Kanata, and finally, force freezing someone with Kylo Ren. The final thing I needed to do for the platinum was complete a bonus level, which I unlocked once I got every gold brick in the game. Now, this bonus level was a nice change up from your traditional LEGO City level. In this bonus level, you play a Starkiller Base and the Death Star 2, and you go around and destroy planets until you collect 1 million studs, just like the other LEGO City levels. This is probably my favorite bonus level that any LEGO game has ever had. It's fun, it's unique, and it's not long and drawn out, and it's pretty straightforward, unlike other bonus levels where you're stuck at 970,000 studs and you're looking for that last thing you have to destroy, and you're sitting there looking for it for like 10 minutes. But anyways, once I completed the level, this was the final thing that I got for the 100% on the game, and once I loaded back into the hub, I got the 100% trophy and of course the platinum trophy for LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens has some highlights with the bonus levels and a little bit of the DLC, but in my opinion, I feel like the story was done way better in the shorter, more condensed version in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So that's why I chose to explain the story in that game rather than this one. I also think the way they did the planets from this movie in that game are absolutely stunning and also way better. Unfortunately, we are not done with this game as they decided to double down and make this goddamn game on the PlayStation Vita as well. Along with the June 28th, 2016 release of LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens on 8th generation consoles, we also got a batch of releases for handheld consoles such as the 3DS and the PlayStation Vita. And as far as handheld video games go, I actually think this game is pretty good. You guys might find me crazy for saying this, but I actually prefer this version of the game to the console version. I know that might be crazy to say, but the #1 complaint I have for the console version is that the story drags out the movie for way too long. And the Vita version, not by choice of course because it's a way less powerful console, shortens the story a little bit and cuts out a lot of the bloat from the console version. Now I'm not going to spend too much time in this game though because the story plays out pretty much the exact same way. And I didn't even cover the story in the console version. The only difference I will say from the Vita version is that the levels are split up into 3 sub-levels per chapter, but they are still pretty much just the same big levels as the ones from the console version, but just split up into 3. And lots of the useless bloat cut out as well. Of course, I got a trophy after completing each chapter in the game, leaving my trophy count at 20 out of 47 trophies after the main story. Then you got the bonus levels. They are again the exact same as the console version, besides Trouble Over Tall just being completely cut from this game for some reason. I got 1 trophy for completing each one, and on On-Again Assault, I also got the trophy for completing The Force Awakens. One thing that got me through this story was this feature on the PS Vita where you can leave a comment on past trophies that you earned. So as I earned the trophies, I would just leave stupid comments on each one like I was an 8-year-old kid playing the game for the first time. For example, W game, top 2 and not 2. Such a goated game, having so much fun. Take that, Captain Phasma, this game rocks. No, not... No, not Han Solo, he was my favorite. Then you got the free play on each level. In each story level, of course, you have to get True Jedi, and then you have 5 level challenges to complete, and you get 1 gold brick for completing each challenge. The 5 challenges consisted of 1 for completing the level, 1 for getting True Jedi, 1 for getting all the collectibles in the level. The collectibles were super easy. Per level, it was like 2 or 3 mini kits max, and then sometimes a level had a red brick in it, but that was pretty much it. And then the final challenges were 2 miscellaneous challenges that ranged in difficulty. A lot of the challenges I got during my playthrough of the story, but other were more annoying and I had to come back to. Once I collected everything, I got a trophy for getting all of the mini kits, a trophy for collecting all red bricks, a trophy for getting True Jedi on every level, and then a trophy getting all level collectibles. In the hub worlds, you also had collectibles to get, but there were only carbonite bricks like the console version and mini kits, interestingly. To get these, you mainly had to do missions just like the open world of the console version, but there were way less on each planet. The other collectibles were scattered around each planet and you mostly got them by using the Force. Once I completed all missions and got every collectible, I got the trophies It Is Found for getting every hub collectible, as well as a big deal in the Resistance for completing all hub missions. And of course, once I bought the final red bricks I needed, I got the 100% trophy. To end off this platinum, I had to beat the bonus level, which was actually an interesting one. Instead of the traditional LEGO City level, you actually play through an arena level where you go through waves fighting stormtroopers and at the end fight Kylo Ren, who was no threat at all. because he had the same amount of health as a damn stormtrooper. But of course, once I defeated him, I got another trophy. Finally, I got some miscellaneous trophies that were also in the console version, such as Stop Kylo Time for force freezing someone with Kylo Ren, having Kylo Ren and Han Solo in the same party, using the wrong droid on a droid panel, and the final trophy I needed was to complete a free play level playing as Chewbacca and Maz Kanata. Once I did that, I got the trophy as well as the Platinum trophy. This was a pretty quick game. It only took me about 11 hours, and for a handheld game, it actually wasn't that bad. Coming off of LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, I didn't have high hopes for this game, and I really was not trying to play this game again. What helped this game a lot though was that it was super quick. If it was any longer than like 15 hours, I probably would have absolutely hated this game. But of course, we now move on to our final game of the video and the biggest game of the video, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. The final game in our massive journey through every LEGO Star Wars game, but certainly not the least, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, released April 5th, 2022, after a 3-year hiatus from TT Games. If you're new here, I actually already released an individual video on this game back in 2024, and that's what I'm going to be showing in this video with a few minor changes, because I'm going to be honest, I was not doing that shit again. So I hope you enjoy the final chapter in our journey, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is the biggest and most ambitious LEGO title to date. In the past, LEGO Star Wars games and even different LEGO games were focused on whole franchises and were split up into multiple games. But the Skywalker Saga did something never done before by TT Games by combining every mainline Star Wars movie into one game with a huge open world you could explore, including 24 different fan favorite planets. Today, I'm going to be getting the Platinum Trophy for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga by collecting every Kyber brick, obtaining every character, and getting everything among the 45 levels that are in this game, including the mini kits and completing every level challenge. And as usual, we start off our journey by completing the main story, starting with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Episode 1 in this game is actually a huge improvement in my opinion from how they interpreted it in the past. It actually made playing through The Phantom Menace, a generally known boring Star Wars movie, fun, unlike the super tedious dog shit levels in the complete saga. I'm looking at you, level 4. My first trophy came before I even entered my first official level, and it was for collecting 17,000 studs. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga created a new way to get through a story, making you play through little transition scenarios where sometimes you play through parts of the movie or sometimes it's literally just walking to the next level. I think it's a great way to transition into another level instead of cutscene plays, reward screens showing what you earned while beating that level, click continue story, boom another cutscene, boom you're into the next level. I also appreciate how they switched it up from the normal levels in the past, as the next level had Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Jar Jar running from the giant fish that attacks them while they are traveling in a submarine. While these giant monsters of the sea were trying to kill me, I was able to get another trophy for completing every level challenge in one single level. Don't worry, that's not the end of completing level challenges, because there's a lot of that bullshit in this game, which we'll talk about later. But moving on into the story, one level that I'm really glad they brought back in this game is the classic pod racing level. In LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, this was by far the hardest level of all time when I was a kid. I literally had to hit one of these in order to beat that level because it was that hard as a kid. Beating that level as a kid was probably my proudest gaming accomplishment. After smoking everyone in that pod race though, it was time for the epic Darth Maul battle. During the battle, I brought out my inner Jedi and I was able to rack up a 30 hit combo against Darth Maul, which earned me another trophy. One thing I also want to highlight in this game is the space combat and levels. It's not anything complicated, it's a simple concept, but it absolutely works in this game. The flying levels were really well designed, like this one where little boy Anakin decides to take a little ride into space to fight for democracy. After Anakin blows up this massive trade ship, I get one trophy for achieving True Jedi in a single level, which is for filling up all 3 bars shown at the top of the screen by collecting enough studs. In past LEGO games, you only needed to fill 1 bar, but now they made it where you have to fill up 3 bars and you earn 1 Kyber brick per bar. Directly after that, I got another trophy for completing a flight level without dying, because I'm like that. And that was the final level of the movie, so I got another trophy for completing Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The prequel movies continue with the good representation in this game with Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. We all know the beginning of the movie where Palpatine needs Padme dead, so he sends Dooku, who sends Jango Fett, who sends Sam Wessel, who sends a robot, who sends Bugs to go kill Padme. But the levels in Episode 2 are actually really good. So good to the point where they turned the whole Jango Fett fight on Kamino to a transition portion of the game, and the part where Obi-Wan is chasing Jango Fett was the actual level. But for here, I think they got a little too cute with this part of the game and just use it as an excuse to get something different, but they made it up with some awesome levels later, including the Geonosian Battle Droid Factory, and of course the battle in Geonosis, and then the epic fight with Count Dooku. After the fight with Dooku, Anakin marries Natalie Portman, a dream of literally every man on this earth, and then the trophy for completing episode 2 is finally mine. Revenge of the Sith, man. Probably the most iconic movie out of the Star Wars franchise. Also the film that has a cult following of this movie and probably can't explain anything about the movie outside of the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. It's a good movie. It's not that good of a movie. This is the real GOAT. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, that's right. Drop that comment. I want you to. I want you to tell me how wrong I am, how I'm a stupid Star Wars fan. I know nothing about Star Wars. I want you to tell me all of that. I want you to drop that comment. Push my video into the algorithm. Please. Please do. Anyways, this is the movie, of course, that has just a ton of fights. Matter of fact, 4 of the 5 levels from this movie all include a boss fight. At the beginning with Count Dooku, a full level fighting General Grievous, a full level fighting Emperor Palpatine, and a full level covering the entire Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight. Which for some reason, during the level, you also play as R2-D2 and C-3PO. I don't really know why that's a thing. But of course, both in the complete saga and in this game, episode 3 always has that ugly duckling level with the awful Kashyyyk level. I hate that level in this game, and I hated that level in the complete saga. And oh yeah, speaking of the complete saga, we had that useless Jedi Ruin level as well. I'm so glad they took that out of the game. But I can't lie, one thing that they nailed in both games though was of course the iconic Anakin versus Obi-Wan level. Alright Anakin, every time I watch this movie, I hope the outcome is different, but it never is. So now I gotta fight you. I have the smallest bit of hope that maybe Anakin won't turn this time, but I always get heartbroken. It never happens. I don't know. Come on. Come on. Now look at this combo. Now watch this combo. Now watch this combo. Now watch this combo. What is happening? I can't see. I can't see. What is that? What is what the hell? Yo, why are we playing as C-3PO and R2-D2? They weren't even on... Oh, yeah, they were on Mustafar, but they got told to stay. I don't even know if C-3PO was on Mustafar. All right, let's do our work as our favorite droids. I'm glad C-3PO doesn't walk at the speed as his actor would now. That's really good. In complete saga, he moves like a goddamn grandpa. What is happening? Why am I just had a freaking, I don't know, a meteor hit me and bonk me on the head. Defeat Anakin, the high ground. Can I just knock him off that and he's dead? Where's my lightsaber going? What the, oh, he force choked me. What? Come here. And he just runs away. And now we're gonna switch to freaking R2-D2. Where were they? Oh, they were just here with us. Yeah, they got here somehow, yeah. Okay, one more time, a good old R2. And we are about to murder Anakin Skywalker. This is it. This is it. Anakin, go down. I have the... Jesus Christ. And you're dead. You broke my heart as a kid, Anakin. I'll never forgive you for that. You were my favorite, man. You were my favorite. You had to turn on me, bro. You had to turn on me, man. Why'd you do that? Hey, there we go. Trophy for Revenge of the Sith is done. Most overrated Star Wars film. Yeah, I said it. I said it. The start of the original trilogy, episode 4, was a really solid movie to play through, with the beginning of course being the escape from Darth Vader with the Death Star plans, which was a very solid level, but the next level I thought was very creative and lots of fun. In this level, we need to help repair the Millennium Falcon and then defend it from the Stormtroopers. During this mission, I earned myself 2 miscellaneous trophies for defeating 3 enemies at the same time with an explosion, and for shooting helmets off of 50 enemies. Also, defending the Falcon must have been very stressful because Luke somehow lost all of his hair during it. Why is Luke bald? Why in the absolute hell is Luke bald? Luke lost all his hair. The stress of finding his father and bringing back peace to the galaxy has made him bald, bro. What? Luke Skywalker is literally the gray Scott now, bro. What the hell? I'm sorry, Scott. You know I had to. Only thing I will complain about though is there are 2 levels that both take place inside of the Death Star. I thought in turn they could have made one of those levels a level with Luke and Obi-Wan on Tatooine like they did in the complete saga. But the trench level, mwah, absolutely amazing. Really fun level. Like I said, the flying levels in this game, they're short, they're sweet, they're incredible. They're just a ton of fun. Of course, at the end of the movie, Luke blows up the Death Star and we get rewarded with a medal and also a trophy pop for completing episode 4. Empire Strikes Back, the GOAT Star Wars film. I've loved this movie ever since I was a kid. Every second of it, it's just perfect. The first level of this movie is a crazy one, man. You find yourself playing as Han Solo, looking for Luke in basically an open world type of level, taking place in a beautiful cold night on Hoth. This is absolutely incredible for a level in a Lego game because usually they're just nice and linear, but this is totally like open world stuff. They also shortened the attack on Hoth level by a lot and made it 20 times better in my opinion than the clusterfuck that it is on the complete Saga. Only thing that kind of confused me was no Dagobah level in this movie. Again, it was kind of just another one of those transitional missions, which I don't mind doing. I just wish it was an actual level, but they still kept a really cool boss fight with the Ghost, Vision, Darth Vader, and there was actually a pretty cool cameo from the old Luke minifig once Luke sees inside of Darth Vader's mask. And then the heroes move on to Cloud City, which was by far one of my favorite worlds to explore in this game. It's just absolutely gorgeous in this game, man. And of course, to end off this perfect movie, we got the big fight with Pops. R2-D2, fuck him up. R2-D2, get him. R2-D2, R2-D2, sneak attack him from behind. Oh my god, look how much damage. Oh my god, R2, R2, oh my god. R2's the best of it to ever do it. He's smoking him. He's smoking Vader. Oh my god, R2. Yo! Oh, Vader, I hear you. Oh, there you are. He just wanted to play a little peekaboo, that's all. You're a silly goose, Vader. Oh, he wants me. Huh? Pause. Fuck all the bullshit. Let me get R2 again. Hold on. Dude, R2 literally is the R2 is the Darth Vader stopper. I just figured it out. Alright, back to Luke. What am I doing? Oh my god. I think it's so funny how the Stormtrooper scream. I think it's so funny how R2 is just chilling in the background. Got like a peekaboo fetish. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, he just wants me to come find him.
Hiding from a little farm boy, huh?
That's what I'm saying, Luke. See, Luke gets you. What the hell is going on in here? All right. I'ma just, yeah, sorry. I'm gonna let y'all do, I'm gonna let y'all get back to your business. Yo. He just stepped on me, that little bitch. Nah, get over here for that. That's disrespectful. R2, step back for a second, yo. Oh, okay. This is, I'm not doing this right here. This is the game. This is kind of epic. This is cool as shit. R2, what is going on over there? R2, you good over there, dog? Hold on, switch back to R2. R2, you good over here, big dog? What the hell is going on? I'm going back here. Come on, Pops is almost dead. Papa, die already. Come on, he's dead. Okay, one little animation, and there we go. That was cool. This cutscene looks really good for some reason.
I am your father.
No! Oh my god, R2-D2. No, R2! He just kicked R2 off the edge! No! Alright, well, this is where Luke kisses his sister, and the trophy's probably gonna pop after this, so on to the next one. Return of the Jedi, despite being one of my favorite Star Wars movies, was one of the weaker movies, in my opinion, to play through. I didn't like the beginning level that much. I thought it was too slow. It was different. It definitely was better than the level in the complete Saga. There was a section where we got to beat up Jabba the Hutt, which was pretty cool and different. And then this little shit was just absolutely insufferable. It felt so good to just whoop his ass. Yoda's death wasn't even a level. He just got a cutscene and a transitional period into the next level, and that's it. The Chewbacca and Ewok level nearly put me to sleep. The Endor speeder level, in my opinion, was underwhelming, but at least it wasn't as annoying as it was in the complete Saga. My god, Luke and Vader fight was incredible to play through. We go the big fight between Luke and Vader, dad versus son. Not scared of you, I'm a Jedi Master now. Okay, you got me there. All right. Last time I was a youngin', I didn't really know much, but now, oh, now I'm at my full potential. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Nope. Weave. Oh, well. You gonna actually have to sneak around Darth Vader? Oh, little like Metal Gear Solid action going on. Okay. I see you, Lego. Come on, Vader, what's your move? What is he doing? Uh-oh. I'm cooked. Oh, no, I'm good. He's blind, it's okay. But he has the Force, but he's blind. Come on, Vader. Come on, Vader. Let's do this together. Let's beat the Emperor. Oh, you blocking now? All right, we blocking now, huh? Okay. We blocking now. Nope. You don't got your lightsaber. You don't got your lightsaber, bitch. Oh, you're done, Zo. That was your first mistake, is not having your lightsaber. You're done. You're done. Get him, Luke. Get him, Luke. Cut that damn hand off. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm being so intense. I know what happens.
Jedi.
Lego games are so stupid sometimes, bro. There we go. Nice, we get to fight Emperor. That's not what happens in the movies, but I mean, any chance I get to play as Darth Vader is always great. So I'm not complaining. This is Luke and Vader. You're sending some guards after us. Like, come on, bro. Like the two strongest freaking people to wield a lightsaber. That's who you're sending, and then you're sending these little puny ass guards in their cool red suits. I'm not gonna lie, they are looking fresh. But like, you got no chance. Look at that. I think this was always my favorite level as a kid from Complete Saga, was the level where we fight Emperor Palpatine, because I just think playing as Darth Vader is like so cool. Same with like if we get to play with Kylo Ren later on, like that is also going to be very cool to me. And that's it. The Emperor is dead, but somehow he will return. We don't get to play this at all? Damn, it's just a cutscene. I thought we were going to be able to play this part. There's a couple cool parts they left out in the game. Like I feel like we could have played the beginning of episode 3. Even that part, they just kind of skipped it out and didn't put it in. There we go. Hey, Return of the Jedi is done. That is the original 6 movies complete. But now, unfortunately, we have to play the sequels. Listen, faster we get through them, faster we can get back to the fun stuff, all right? 2024 me was pretty on point with the comparison of A New Hope to this movie. I know it's pretty much a carbon copy of A New Hope in almost every way. Main hero grew up on a sandy planet, who then takes off on an adventure to learn the ways of the Force, while the main droid is carrying an important piece of information from the enemy side, with the ending being an attack on the enemy's main base. They destroy it, and while they're on their journey, an older version of a fan favorite character ends up dying. But despite the sequel trilogy not getting the best rep, I actually think The Force Awakens is a pretty good movie. Yes, it has a lot of similarities to A New Hope, but watching it always gives me the feel of a classic Star Wars movie, as well as the beginning of a nice hero journey with Rey, and plenty of intriguing plot lines still needing to be explored. The thing that I'll always hate the most about the sequels, though, is the fumble with Finn. His story was so good in this movie, and then the last 2, they made him basically a lost puppy for Rey. But the levels were pretty good in this movie as well. The first sees the escape from the First Order Dreadnought by disgruntled stormtrooper Finn and pilot Poe Dameron. They then crash onto Jakku, Rey's home planet, where Finn meets Rey, and they again escape from the attacking First Order in the Millennium Falcon. On our way to the Resistance home base, they get sucked in on a random ship where they meet up with some old friends, and they have to escape this ship from giant monsters named Rathtars and rival gangs attacking. From here, they end up on Takodana, that also gets invaded by the First Order, and Rey is captured. Finn gains a massive amount of aura by welding Anakin's lightsaber and fighting his former allies with it. The Resistance then come up with a plan to save Rey and also blow up the First Order's home base, Starkiller Base. They go there and do so, but not without a casualty from Han Solo. And to finish the movie, we have the epic lightsaber battle between Finn and Kylo Ren. Finn, of course, gets defeated, but Rey takes his spot, and we have the first lightsaber bout between Kylo Ren and Rey. The movie ends with us finally completing the map to Luke Skywalker, and finally finding him. After that, I earned the trophy for completing The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi is not one of my favorites. This movie is filled with boring side plot lines and just absolutely stupid moments and characters. 4 of the 5 levels, no joke, are literally like 5 to 10 minute levels, and the rest are just pushed off to the in-between sections, which I have no problem with, but it just seems like they had no clue what sections of the movie to pick for the levels, because this movie just feels like filler half the time. 2 of the levels you play as damn Rose and Finn, once in a useless jailbreak mission when we're trying to get the Master Codebreaker, and then against a poorly executed plotline with Finn and Captain Phasma, who just dies immediately after we thought she was already dead. But at least we have this. Then a mission with Rey and Kylo Ren in the dreaded throne room, where it's literally just the mission of spamming attack buttons to defeat these guards, and that's it. The final mission was pretty good though, with the Resistance making their escape through the mines of the planet Crate, while Luke casts a Force hologram of himself to distract Kylo Ren long enough for Rey to save them and escape. The movie ends with hope being spread throughout the galaxy for the Resistance rebellion against the First Order, and I earn another trophy. Now, if you think I hated The Last Jedi, well, I hate this movie even more. Nothing in this movie makes sense even a little bit. To start the movie, Poe Dameron and Finn get information from a leak in the First Order that somehow Palpatine has returned, and Snoke was just a clone. The Emperor is planning on reviving the Empire on some zombie stuff on a hidden planet named Exegol. To get there, they need to find the Sith Wayfinder that Luke Skywalker was trying to find but was never successful. So what do they do and try to pick up his tracks? Go ask Lando Calrissian, because yeah, he would know about Sith business. They run into some trouble with the First Order, they fly now, and they end up in a cave underground through quicksand, where Rey finds a blade just casually chilling there that contains Sith writing, but C-3PO can't translate it, so they need to get someone that can make him translate it. Incoming death fake out number 1, where Rey mysteriously shoots out Sith lightning, destroying a ship that supposedly contained a captured Chewbacca. Yeah, Rey's just a Palpatine. She just is. I don't know. We get to and sneak through the planet Kajimi and meet up with Babu Frick, one of the few enjoyable things about this movie, and it brings us death fake out number 2, as he resets C-3PO, deleting all of his memories. The reason it's death fake out number 2 is C-3PO literally regains all of his memories at the end of the movie. C-3PO, now being Sith C-3PO, tells us that the Wayfinder is located on the ruins of the Death Star in a vault, which, by the way, this was the Death Star at the end of episode 6. So how the hell is there even wreckage at all, and still this intact? And how does it look so small on this moon as well, if in the movies they literally describe this ship to be the size of a small moon? Anyways, the crew goes to that moon, where the random blade that they found on a random planet in a random cave just so happens to perfectly align with the wreckage of the Death Star and shows us the location of the Wayfinder. Cause why wouldn't it, right? Cause why wouldn't it perfectly align like that? In the wreckage, Rey runs into Kylo Ren. She defeats him, which eventually leads to Kylo turning back to Ben Solo. Then it's on our way to Exegol to fight Emperor Palpatine and defeat him once and for all. Ooh, okay, we get the double. I forgot. I haven't seen this movie since it released. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this movie is so buns, I never even wanted to watch it again. I actually might have to. I have to rewatch all the sequels. There we go. We smoked Palpatine. He's turned it. That's a good touch. He's turned it back to all his former versions of himself. She's peeking, bro. This game is comedy sometimes, dude. Oh, they're showing the health bar. That's so dumb. Rest in peace, my boy Kylo. It should have been Rey who died, bro. My boy Kylo should have lived. Yep. Finally done with Rise of Skywalker. Thank God. Hey, there we go. Rise of Skywalker. And it's true. All of it. Complete the Skywalker saga. That is the end of the story. Replaying this game a little bit later after I played this, is like the first time I replayed the story since the game's release. It's actually not that bad. Now it's time for the huge cleanup of this game, bro. I'm gonna be putting hours. I'm gonna be on the grind for this. Now moving on to the free play, where I don't think it's ridiculous to say that this is one of the longest grinds I've ever had to do for a platinum. I don't think there's many games out there that will require you to collect close to over 1,000 collectibles in the post game. The first thing I went ahead and cleaned up were, of course, the levels. In each level, we would have to collect all 5 mini kits and complete all 3 level challenges. Now, if you haven't played a Lego game in the past, a mini kit is literally just a collectible you can get inside each level for doing certain puzzles. In the past, there were 10 mini kits per level, but in this game there are only 5. But the addition of the level challenges are a completely new thing. Now, these level challenges can range in difficulty between just literally breaking something or having to sneak through a whole level without getting caught. I also had to go back and achieve the couple True Jedi rankings that I was missing as well. But just like every other Lego game, this was made much easier with the use of stud multipliers. In this game, you get stud multipliers from collecting these things called data cards, and once you have a data card, you can use a data card and studs to purchase multipliers, including 2 times, 4 times, 6 times, 8 times, and 10 times. Of course, if you purchase all of these and combine them together, you get yourself a multiplier of 3,840 times. But after I was done going through each level, I got a trophy for getting every True Jedi, a trophy for completing all level challenges, and one last trophy for collecting every mini kit in the game. You would think that's the grindy part. You would think that's the part that's going to take a long time, having to go through 45 levels and get everything in there. But no, we have to collect literally everything on the 24 different planets in this game. That would include 1,000 Kyber bricks, 123 ships, 380 characters, and 19 total data cards. Some of these planets were more annoying than others because of the multiple locations. I'm looking at you, Coruscant and Tatooine, and some of the planets just absolutely sucked in general. And I'm definitely looking at Geonosis for that one. As you can see on the map, each planet is grouped into a different section, and you get one trophy for 100%ing each of these sections. What does 100%ing a region entail, you might ask? That would be collecting everything that is indicated under the name of the location you are at. For some reason, this doesn't count the space portion of the planet as well as the galaxy challenges. The galaxy challenges is something we'll get to a little later. During this, I am also working on collecting 10 billion studs, which seems like a challenge, but with the multipliers, it almost comes across natural. But for now, I went ahead and purchased absolutely nothing until I got that. The first region I completed was an easy one since there is only one planet that lies within the region, which is Camino. Once I collected everything here, I got the trophy Rishi Maze for completing all events on Camino. After doing that, I tried to stay in an order as best as I can, starting from the top right, then looping around the galaxy and ending with the interior section. But some of the planets require missions to be unlocked by first going to another planet, beating a mission which unlocks that mission, and then going back to the planet and finishing the mission. Hopefully you stayed with me there. But for now, I was able to start at the top by completing all events on Kentonica, Yavin 4, and Agent Kloss, which earned me the trophy New Territories. The next region was another easy one that only had 2 planets, but the second planet, Kijimi, had absolutely nothing on it. So I'm not really sure why they added the option to be able to explore it. The only planet that I needed to focus on in this region was Kashyyyk, which is actually where I earned the trophy for collecting 10 billion studs. You may think that's super quick, but the multipliers in LEGO games are truly OP. If you're doing this platinum, once you get a data card, definitely go for the multipliers first thing. But of course, once I completed everything on Kashyyyk, I got the trophy, the Slice. The next region trophy I got was Trailing Sectors, which I got for completing everything on Dakar, Naboo, and Pasana. Then Greater Javin for completing Bespin, Crate, and Hoth. The next region, the Unknown Regions, had the most planets out of any region, which was 4. Exegol, Octo, Kefber, and Endor. Take a shot every time I've said region in this video. But during this region on Endor, I was able to get my 1000th Kyber brick. This is gonna be Kyber brick number 1000. I don't know why I stopped off last night on 999, but there we go. You may fire when ready. Collect 1000 Kyber bricks. And after that, I completed the 4 planets and got the trophy Unknown Regions. That's the last one of that. And there we go, Unknown Regions. Then I got the trophy Western Reaches for completing Dagobah, Mustafar, and Utapau. I don't know how to say that. If I said it wrong, oh well. Hey, there we go. That's Western Reaches done. That's the Mustafar section. So that's done. And then here we go, the final region of the galaxy, but not the last one I would complete since there was other missions I still needed to go back and do. Tatooine is a bitch. But while going for the interior trophy for completing Coruscant, Jakku, and Tokadana, I was able to finish collecting every data card and complete every race in the galaxy. Real hostile. Here's my last data card though. Hey, what have you done with those plans? I think something happened, like, in the world. Hey, there we go. Fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Complete all the races. That's my last race right there. And then I was finally able to get the trophy, the interior. Oh, I know what you're talking about, yeah. Hey, there we go. The interior. Now that literally everything else was done in the galaxy, I can go back and finish the final missions I needed on Tatooine. Oh my god, I literally just had to shoot that, bro. That's all I had to do this whole time. That was stupid, bro. And there we go. That is all the sectors, or all the planets done now. And we should get another trophy, right? Yep, there you go. See you around, kid. Complete all the events in the galaxy. Now that every event in the galaxy was finished, it was time to tackle the galaxy challenges. There were 10 in total, some spanning across multiple planets and others being designated to only one planet. Challenge 1 was to go across Echo Base on Hoth and rescue 10 frozen rebels. Challenge 2 was to free 5 rebels trapped from nets across Endor. Challenge 3 was to rescue 20 porgs spread across the galaxy. These are the little bird things. Challenge 4 was to shoot 20 helmet-wearing mouse droids spread across the galaxy. Challenge 5 was to make 5 patrons in the Mos Eisley Cantina dance at once, which was actually a trophy as well. Challenge 6 was to destroy 10 golden ships in space spread across the galaxy. Challenge 7 was to complete every shooting gallery in the galaxy. Challenge 8 was to find every Zymod in the Agent Kloss Resistance base. Challenge 9 was to read every plaque in the Exegol Sith Citadel. And Challenge 10 was to find all 33 wandering Wookiees found in the galaxy. After I finished that gave me the trophy for completing every galaxy challenge, as well as gave me the Wandering Wookiee, which was the last character I needed to collect all characters for the collecting all characters trophy. And that was the end of the crazy amount of collecting in this game. The final things I needed to do was to purchase every character class upgrade. The reason I saved this for last is because you need tons of kyber bricks and studs to be able to purchase them. Obviously the studs weren't an issue, but I needed a lot of kyber bricks, which I didn't have and I needed to collect. So we're gonna get a trophy for maxing out one character. There's that, raw untamed power. And then of course shortly after that I got the trophy for fully upgrading every single character class. Then I needed to create 25 disguises as a hero character. In this game, characters are split up into different classes, and the hero character class is able to kill a stormtrooper, then put on a piece of their clothing to disguise themselves. You need to put on their helmet, their chest piece, and their legs in order to fully disguise yourself. To grind this out, all I did was load up the Endor the Line level in episode 6 and grind it out until I finally got the trophy. The last trophy I needed was to ride every creature in the galaxy. For this, all I did was look up a guide and ride every creature again, even if I knew I already did ride one. If this is not the last animal, I will freak out. Yes! I've never seen a real one. Finally. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the platinum for Lego Star Wars and Skywalker Saga. My God, that was a lot of Lego game right there, man. 85 hours into freaking Lego Star Wars, man. What a grind. And that would be the end of the road. What a journey it has been. Across the 7 games, I earned a grand total of 387 trophies and achievements, the most I've ever collected in a single video. If you made it through the entirety of this monster of a video, I would like to say thank you. And if you would like me to do this kind of video with another Lego franchise, let me know what franchise that would be down in the comments. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.